in all of the offensive categories. Miami is a different team. When Tyler Hero is working his magic and his scowl and all that stuff, and the shot is going down, again, it's the same thing. When Tyler's doing that, man, it is a thing of beauty. But I can't count on one guy to be the third guy. I have to count on a group of individuals who take turns night in and night out. Now,
we'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of InterMiami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for InterMiami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep. Download the Radio.net app and listen to Onside Radio in every InterMiami CF game. OnsideRadio.com, your home for InterMiami soccer.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yes! Oh, it is. It is! Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Oh, wait, I'm Alex Donno, and I'm with you guys here for the next 3 hours on OnsideRadio.com. We have another Alex Aguirre, riding shotgun, producing the show. He's awesome. He's going to be with us as well from 3 until 6 tonight. We take you right up to our good friend Stephen D. and Miami Sports Music for the Fans tonight and every weeknight. New show that started this week. So this will be episode number 3 for Steve and his crew tonight, 6 to 7 p.m. on OnsideRadio.com. That's where you can listen to us live all day and night streaming, OnsideRadio.com. If you go to our website, OnsideRadio.com, you can find a big list of mobile apps where you can listen to us for free. You just download one of these free apps. It won't cost you a cent, like Simple Radio, Radio FM, MyTuner Radio. Download one of those apps, search for Onside Radio, make us your favorite station, and you got the hookup, man, all day, every day. Listen to us in your car. If you connect your phone through Bluetooth, you can play us right through your car speakers. Sounds a lot better than AM radio, honestly. I mean, AM radio, once you listen to that, it always sounds like there's interference. And, you know, sometimes like radio stations from Cuba will get their signal into our signal, you know, up here. That never happens on Onside Radio. You never get any interference ever on OnsideRadio.com and on one of these mobile apps. And you can also watch us streaming live on YouTube. We've already got the YouTube stream up and running. We are fully operational. Go to YouTube, search Onside Radio, subscribe to our channel, and hit the Watch Live button. And once you're in there watching us live, you can chat. The live chat is an amazing feature. Chat with me. I'm very active on there. I read all the messages, chat with each other. Sometimes, honestly, there are epic side conversations going on. Like, there are these epic sidebars going on in the live chat. And full disclosure, I will steal you guys' material sometimes right out of the live chat. Like, if someone makes an insanely good comment or, like, a really insightful question or something, I'm going to take that right out of the live chat. We talk about it on the show. We got into some pretty wild conversations yesterday, so the live chat is a ton of fun. You know, I'm looking, because I've got YouTube open right now, and I'm looking at my own face on YouTube, which is always a little bit trippy. But honestly, I think my beard looks perfect today. Like, if I could just maintain this exact length and volume of beard, I'm going to have to be fighting women off like in those Old Spice commercials. right? When they put on the Old Spice, and this doesn't actually work, by the way. It's false advertising. But when you spray on Old Spice and there are just like herds of women just jumping all over you, I feel like, and this is the other problem with mask life, right? That, I know the CDC is like easing the recommendations a little bit, but I still, anywhere in public, I'm still wearing a mask, even though I'm vaccinated, because I don't want to freak people out. Like, I don't want people to think, oh, what's this guy doing without a mask on? Is he an anti-vaxxer, an anti-masker? Like, well, what is he? I don't want people to make assumptions about me, so I'm still, wearing masks to most places, and a lot of private businesses still do require you to wear a mask, even with the CDC loosening up a little bit. It's putting me at a big disadvantage. Now, I'm a married guy. I'm not looking for anything. But, I like to be appreciated, right? So, I don't know, man. I think my beard being exactly perfect today, I wish I could show it off to more people. So make sure you're watching on YouTube and smash that like button when you're in there, my friends. We're going to have some fun today, 3 until 6 p.m. Later on in the 3 o'clock hour, I want to take a bit of a deeper dive into the Miami Heat as they're going to start off their series against the Milwaukee Bucks. They're going to be in Milwaukee, which sounds like a terrible, terrible place, although I've never been. Sausages and beer. Maybe it's not that bad. We're going to talk with Clay Ferrero from WPLG at 3:35 p.m. We're going to dive into a series preview for the Miami Heat Milwaukee Bucks. Can the Heat do what they did last year? Can the Heat end Giannis Antetokounmpo's postseason even sooner than they did last year? Because last year they did it in the second round. This time they have the opportunity to do it in round number 1. In the 4 o'clock hour, we got to talk about last night. We're going to talk about it throughout the show, but we're going to get expert opinion on it from David Dwork. He hosts Chirping the Cats Radio here on OnSideRadio.com. He also works for Channel 10. In fact, we got like 2 Channel 10 people on the show tonight. WPLG Dominance. Clay Ferrero is an anchor reporter from Channel 10. Dave Dwork is a reporter from Channel 10. He also is a host here on Onside Radio. And then in the 5 p.m. hour at 5:20, we're going to be joined by a very good friend of the program and host of Juan on Juan. Juan Cardona from the 5 Reasons Sports Network and here on Onside Radio is going to join us at 5:20. Because not only do I want to talk some Dolphins with Juan, he's been doing lots and lots of Tua Tagovailoa breakdowns. And I want to see if Juan is geeking out to Tua looking jacked the way that I am. But I also want to talk a little crypto with Juan. He's a big crypto head. And God bless all of you out there like me, like I'm sure like so many of you listening, who are hodling and buying the dip. We're holding on for dear life, and we are buying the dip because today, especially this morning, was a really rough day for crypto. And like I said, I'm trying to give people pieces of inspiration today on Twitter because I'm big into crypto. Obviously, is big into crypto. He's the crypto bro. He's huge into it. And so many of our listeners, so many people I interact with are in, on Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano and so many of the altcoins out there. And I want you guys to remember something because I see some people freaking out. And, if you're one of those people who maybe first got into Bitcoin when it was in the 50s or even in the 60s because, about a month ago it peaked at, 64,000. If you got in when it was super high, like in the 50s or 60s, and today it's been in the 30s, I can understand because this is your first rodeo why your stomach would be turning today and why you're really upset. Like, oh my God, am I going to lose all my money? Spoiler alert, you're not going to lose all your money. It's going to bounce back. It might bounce back by the end of the week. It might bounce back by the end of the month. It might bounce back in June. It's going to bounce back. And like I was telling friends of mine today who are new to the crypto space, remember, you haven't lost anything unless you sold. If you sold today when it was at Bitcoin was at, I use that as the benchmark because every altcoin, every coin has been down today. But, Bitcoin is the big boy, so we'll use that as a reference point. If you sold your Bitcoin and you sold your crypto today when Bitcoin was at its low point at 30, 31, then you're a loser. Because you panicked, you sold when it was at its lowest point after buying when it was at its highest point. And if you sold off today in a panic, you did lose money. You did. But for those of us who are holding on for dear life, even buying the dip, I wish I was more liquid right now. Like, I wish I just had more, more cash stashed away that I could be throwing tons of money at this dip. I bought like a few $100s in the dip this morning, and I'm glad I did because it's going to bounce back within a matter of weeks, if not even days, and we're all going to be back way in the positive, and we're going to be jumping up and down. We're going to be holding hands and singing Kumbaya. So just remember, if you're holding on, if you're being patient, and if you're not panicking, you haven't lost anything. You still own the same amount of crypto right now than you did before the dip. Hell, you might own even more if you bought it at a discount at the dip today. So unless you sold in a panic, you have actually not lost anything right now. So relax, take a chill pill, and do not worry, my friends. Huge welcome to Brooklyn Rob, who's in the chat. God, this Brooklyn Rob, he keeps hammering me with Juventus propaganda. I still love you, Rob. In fact, some of my best friends are fans of Italian soccer clubs that I hate, right? My buddy Daniel Lucci, huge Juventus fan. I've gotten to know another guy who's been a frequent podcast guest, Gianni, who's a big Juventus supporter, and I love both of those guys. I have a couple of really close friends who are AC Milan fans, like our guy Frank Crivello from the Serie A Sit Down, who joins us on a lot of Fridays. He's a Milan fan, so I do find a way. I know that some people treat sports as if it's like real life and war and politics and all that. No, man. I mean, I go to war against some of these teams and I troll some of their fans, but some of my closest friends are fans of clubs that I despise. I would consider Brooklyn Rob a friend. We haven't known each other for long. We hung out a little bit at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company a couple weeks ago for an InterMiami watch party. Even though he supports the black and white and I support the black and blue, I consider the man a friend. And our buddy Ray Grullon is in. He says, howdy, Donno, the Crypto Bro Show with Big O and Donno. Yeah, we are working on a crypto show. O and I are working on a crypto. I don't know if it's probably within a matter of weeks we'll get that started. It's going to be a lot of fun. Big E is listening. He says, glad to hear you on the airwaves, buddy. Fins up. Hello, Big E. Glad to hear you and see you as well. One of the great Miami Dolphin fans of all time. Always nice to see our buddy Big E in the chat. Last night, guys, for the Florida Panthers, just immense disappointment. I said it before the game yesterday when we were on the air in the afternoon. As far as I'm concerned, last night was a must-win. That if you drop 0-2 to start the series against the Lightning, that team is way too good for you to beat them in 4 out of the next 5 games. It's just reality. I'm sorry to say it. My prediction before the series started was Panthers in 7. I thought Florida had really shown some great strides during the regular season. They had looked really good against Andrei Vasilevsky, the excellent goalkeeper for Tampa Bay, who's going to win the Vezina Trophy. Florida was really good against him in the regular season, and I know you can only take so much from the regular season into the postseason, but still, I thought home ice would be decisive for the Panthers. They would win the series in 7. And listen, predictions evolve. Opinions change. I can't sit here and tell you that I'm sticking with my Panthers in 7 prediction after dropping the first 2 games. I think we're finito. My new prediction is Lightning in 6. So I challenge the Panthers to prove me wrong. I challenge the Panthers to be so extraordinary for the next 5 games. Hell, they could mathematically win this thing in the next 4 games. But I challenge them to be so extraordinary in these next couple of games in Tampa Bay. Because remember, you had the first 2 games on your home ice, and you couldn't win either of those. Now you go into the Tampa Bay wood chipper. Now, I know that you see a lot more of these road upsets in hockey than you see in basketball, let's say. And, we're not even at full capacity in these arenas. We're in about half capacity in these arenas. So, coming from down 0-2 with your next, 3 out of 5 games being on the road, stranger things have happened. It's not impossible that the Florida Panthers come back and win this series, but I just give too much respect to Tampa Bay. I think the Tampa Bay Lightning are too good to allow the Florida Panthers to come back down 0-2 in the series. Like, if we had taken the 1 seed, for example, and we were going up against the Nashville Predators in the first round, and they stole the first 2 games against the Panthers, then I could tell you, yeah, we could still come back and win this series. It's not going to be easy because 0-2 sucks no matter who you're going up against. But yeah, if we were going up against a team like 4-seed Nashville, if they were to shock us and start the series 2-0, I'd say, yeah, the Panthers are capable of coming back and winning it. I don't think they're capable of doing that against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I'm running out of excuses, guys. I mean, after game one, I could say, hey, the Florida Panthers were terrible on special teams because the penalty kill allowed the Lightning to score on 3 out of 4 power play tries, and they also gave up a shorthanded goal, but they were the better team on 5-on-5. 5-on-5, the Panthers were in the first game. They were better in 5-on-5. And also, you had the ineligible player, Nikita Kucherov, who should not be allowed to play because he's over the salary cap, but Kucherov scored 2 goals in the first game. I don't have any excuses for last night, my friends. Panthers didn't give up any power play goals. Kucherov didn't score. Last night, the Tampa Bay Lightning beat us on our home ice, fair and square, and there's nothing Donno can do about it. Panthers were bad in the first period. I thought that they looked a lot better in periods 2 and 3, but the Lightning defense was way too stingy. Andrei Vasilevsky was way too good. Tampa ended up winning by 2 goals, but for those who actually watched the game, it was one of those empty net situations that happens in hockey. It was, for all intents and purposes, it was a 1-goal loss, but they got the empty net goal when the Panthers were pressing and they had pulled Chris Drieger for the extra attacker late, and that was how Tampa got that 2-goal victory. And I know Barkov has said we're not out of the series yet. Actually, Mackenzie Weegar was the one who said that, and Barkov said something similar. I was listening to the sound today, but I think it's too much, guys. I really think that it's too much to come back and win this series. I hope they prove me wrong. Drieger was a little bit better in net yesterday than Bob was. And, we had Panthers media availability today. And we don't know who's going to start in net game 3 yet. Coach Quenneville has not specified. He's not made that clear. I'd probably go Drieger again if it's just me. But, it's not like Drieger won yesterday, so maybe Coach Q goes back to Bob. Like, maybe Coach Q says, you know what, I would have kept Drieger in if the Panthers had won the game. Drieger only gave up 2 goals. Bob gave up 5 in game 1. Not that those were all his fault. It's just the way that the game played out. But I think Drieger is a little bit sharper in net. To me, he gives the Panthers the best chance to win game 3. But Coach Q might end up going back to Bob. I think if Drieger had won, he would have stuck with Drieger. Maybe because Drieger didn't, he goes back to Sergei Bobrovsky. So it's tough, man. And I'm going to see at 5:20 if Dave Dwork can make a case for the Panthers coming back and winning this series. Now, you do get Sam Bennett back for Game 3. And you know what? Actually, if I'm looking for excuses, maybe I pull the Sam Bennett excuse because I'm not saying he shouldn't have been suspended for Game 2, but you could have suspended a couple of Tampa Bay Lightning players, and the NHL just cherry-picked, we're going to suspend a Panther, and we're not suspending anybody from Tampa Bay. So I thought that was bullshit. I thought that was unfair. If the Panthers were going to be without Bennett, Tampa Bay should have been without a couple of players. So maybe that's my excuse for last night. Maybe Sam Bennett would have gotten a game-tying goal, 2-2. You could have taken the game to overtime. Would have been a completely different result last night. Maybe we'll stick with that, my friends. Hey, in addition to chatting with us on YouTube, and the YouTube is heating up. I love it. And make sure if you're in there, guys, you smash that like button. So in addition to chatting with us on YouTube, you can also text the show at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. In fact, I'm going to pull up that text line so I can see what's coming in from that one as well. And the other thing about last night is you just felt like it wasn't your night because you saw the first goal that the Lightning scored. I know that they don't do these in hockey. In hockey, they're very polite. Like, you can tell the sport is run by Canadians because they're very nice about it. In soccer, if a defensive player accidentally scores a goal, they call it an own goal, and they list the defensive player as being the one to score the own goal. In hockey, they credit the goal always to the last offensive player who touched the puck. No matter how poorly the defensive player does and he puts the puck in the net, they always credit the goal to the last offensive player to touch the puck. So Steven Stamkos gets a goal, the opening goal last night, or whoever they credited it to, but it was actually a deflected puck off Florida's Anton Stralman. So it was basically a pass to Stralman that deflected off of him behind Chris Drieger. And once you give up a goal like that, you kind of think, man, just tonight is not our night. I had the same feeling in Game 1 when Sam Bennett scored the opening, what I thought was a legitimate opening goal, and they overruled it for some very soft, ticky-tack goaltender interference. So we've been getting hosed. Been getting hosed so far. You know what? Honestly, I said to start the show, no excuses for last night. I've come up with enough excuses already. Panthers are up 2-0 in the series as far as I'm concerned. I mean, listen, the scoreboards may not reflect it, but in Donno's world, the Panthers have a 2-0 lead so far in this best-of-7 series. 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on something with Tua Tagovailoa. I'll explain to you what that is when we come back here on Onside Radio. Remember, we're going to talk a little bit later this hour with Clay Ferrero from WPLG. Next hour with Dave Dwork, 5 o'clock hour with Juan Cardona. Keep it locked right here to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Listen to OnsideRadio.com anywhere by downloading the MyTuner Radio app in your app store. Or go to MyTunerRadio.com on your web browser. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida sports leader. When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. At OnsideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
The Panthers have their work cut out for them if they're going to claw their way back into their first-round playoff series against Tampa Bay. The Lightning outplayed the Panthers basically from start to finish in Game 2, coming away with an impressive 3-1 victory Tuesday night in Sunrise. The win gave Tampa a commanding 2-0 lead in the best-of-7 series, and now Florida will have to pick up at least one win on the road if they want to keep their postseason alive. The puck luck was on Tampa's side during Game 2, with a couple fortunate bounces helping the Bolts jump out to a 2-0 first-period lead. Florida made a game of it on Mason Marchman's second-period tally, but that's as close as the Cats would get. Yanni Gourde's empty net goal sealed the deal for Tampa, who now sits in the driver's seat as they head back to Amalie Arena for the next two contests. The Panthers will take an off day on Wednesday to regroup before heading north and trying to turn things around in Game 3, which takes place on Thursday at 6:30.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
Join the InterMiami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yesterday, I got really worked up and angry about Pro Football Focus. They put out a quarterback ranking for next year, like predicting how all 32 projected starting quarterbacks are going to do next year, which is, it's obviously not an exact science because some of the guys they projected to start are not necessarily going to be starters, at least not full-time, like they projected Mac Jones and Trey Lance, for example, when I think there's a really good chance both of them sit for a good portion of the season to start their rookie years. But nevertheless, I got really annoyed, and I was ripping Pro Football Focus yesterday because in their, prediction rankings of quarterback productivity next year, 1 to 32 ranking starting quarterbacks, they put our guy Tua Tagovailoa number 29. Number 29. Only 3 projected to be worse. I don't have the list in front of me at this moment, but I know that Zach Wilson was one of them. And Drew Lock in Denver was another. I can't remember who the third was that they predicted would have a worse year than Tua, but it's like, and, I complained about it. I had my rant on the show about it yesterday, and I tweeted about it as well. And a couple of people told me, and I don't know if they were all Dolphin fans who told me this. I think one of them was, and one of them wasn't. Like, hey, Donno, calm down. Why would you expect these media guys to think better of Tua after last year? That they're probably right to rank him there. But hold on. Here's the issue that I have. Here's the problem that I had with it. This was not a ranking of last year's productivity. This is their projection of this coming year. So that's the problem that I have. I would complain less if they were doing a 1 to 32 starting quarterback ranking from a season ago and they thought, yeah, Tua's in the late 20s. I could raise a couple of points to disagree and say, hey, maybe he should be early 20s, not late 20s, but I'd be splitting hairs. I get that. So if that was a look back at last year, I could let it slide. The problem that I have is to project next year and to pretend as though the young man's not going to get any better. Because that's what they're doing. If they're really projecting him to be 29th out of 32 next year, you're saying you think the guy's a bust. You think he's not getting any better. You don't think the Dolphins' offense is getting better. And that's wrong. W-R-O-N-G. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. The offensive line's going to be at least a little bit better. The receiving core is going to be much better. Now, the running back situation, I don't know. I like everything Myles Gaskin is saying, and he seems really fired up, to have a big year. And I think if he can stay on the field, he's going to have a decent year. I'm not overly enthused about running back, but if you don't think the receiving core is dramatically better, the O-line's going to be at least a little bit better because they added some players to the O-line, and the young players from next year are going to be older and more experienced, so it would stand to reason they're going to get better. And how about this for an idea, you Einsteins? Tua is also going to get better. And I'll tell you why he's going to get better. What made me think about it this morning was I was going on my daily morning visit to Kyle Krabs' website, our good friend who joins us on Thursdays. He's the editor of DolphinsWire.com. And I logged on to Dolphins Wire, and Kyle posted a story along with a video. And honestly, this video, it's like porn to me. Some people have weird fetishes. They're into bondage or feet. I'm actually into watching Tua Tagovailoa do footwork drills. Maybe that is a type of foot fetish. I don't know. But I'm watching this video, and I guess Tua must have posted this on one of his social platforms, or maybe I think the Dolphins posted this on one of their social platforms of Tua going through these footwork drills, and it was absolutely magnificent. Tua looks a lot bigger. He looks a lot more comfortable. And the big reminder for me from last year to this year is, so it's late May right now, okay? Preparing for next season. What was Tua doing in May of last year? The guy was relearning how to walk after hip surgery. Don't forget that. Don't forget that, and don't undervalue that. That a year ago at this time, this guy who had a rookie season that you people love to tear to shreds because he wasn't as good last year as Justin Herbert, so you love to tear him to shreds. Last May, when he was preparing for his rookie season, and that went beyond May, into June, into July, into training camp, into the start of training camp, he wasn't 100%. he was relearning how to walk and going through physical therapy after having surgery on a career-threatening hip injury. He couldn't focus on things like footwork, couldn't focus on things like timing his throws and, working with his receivers out in the park like he appeared to be doing at that drill that I was watching on video yesterday. He wasn't doing any of that stuff because he was going through physical therapy, okay? And yeah, if there's ever a reason to not be ready for your rookie season, that's a pretty good one. When you're relearning how to do simple things like walking and running after a serious surgery. He doesn't have those concerns this year. This year, the only things that Tua is concerned about are, I'm sure, family. He's a family guy, but getting better, getting more comfortable. He's got a new playbook to learn. And by the way, that new playbook, I would imagine, from your new co-offensive coordinators, George Godsey and Eric Studesville, that new playbook is going to be catered around Tua, where last year's was mostly Fitz with maybe a little bit of Tua thrown in there with Old Man Chan. I love, I don't know if he coined this phrase, but I love when I listen to Kai's Corner every day, Kai Chen Chisholm, how he refers to Chan Gailey as Old Man Chan. I love that. So Old Man Chan, had this non-Tua-centric playbook. Now you're getting a Tua-centric playbook this year from your new co-offensive coordinators. And I'm looking at Tua go through his footwork. I'm looking at him going through drills in this video, and I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I am drinking the Tonga Vailoa Kool-Aid. And I thought Krabs put a good line in his piece. He said, as the saying goes, slow feet don't eat at just about every position on the football field. You can be heavy-footed and slow to react and expect great things to happen. You can't, I should say, be heavy-footed and slow to react and expect great things to happen for you in the NFL. And for Tua Tagovailoa, the 2021 offseason has been all about enhancing his skills. That's quite the contrast to the 2020 offseason, in which Tagovailoa's focus was getting healthy and making sure he could still play football, period. Thank you. That's something you guys have to respect, that, of course, Tua last year was at a handicap, so to speak, because he was, recovering from surgery, couldn't prepare the right way. It's completely different now, completely different. Ray writes, can't wait for Tua to shut up all the pundits. Ray, that's exactly why I'm saving all the receipts. Because you know what the pundits are going to do. When Tua lights it up next year, they're going to pretend they never said anything bad about this guy. They're all going to say, oh, look at how well Tua is doing. I told you he was going to be great. I had him projected in the top 3, and he slid to number 5. Like, these pundits are going to act like they believed in this young man all along, because that's what pundits do. These talking heads on TV, like the Skip Baylesses and the Stephen A's and the Max Kellermans, these guys are on camera for 2 hours every single day, and they churn through so much nonsense from one story to the next to the one after that. They count on the fact that most people are not going to remember the ridiculous thing that they said months ago, a year ago, right? And then they could just completely change their opinion and contradict themselves, and no one's going to remember. We are saving the receipts here at Onside Radio. And when these clowns do the about face next year, come November, when Tua's put in, 7 or 8 great weeks of football by that time, maybe more than that by November, and these guys start to sing his praises, I'm going to remember these guys basically tried to retire him and said he was a bust already. I'm not going to forget about that. I'm not. Big E writes in, Tua cannot play much worse than he did last season. He was very hesitant, and he won't be that again this season. Can't wait for him to show everyone why he is special. Yeah, and part of being hesitant is, I'm sure his footwork got rusty, because his footwork was great in Alabama. That was one of the things that he excelled in, footwork and accuracy. But, couldn't do those reps for a really long time and probably wasn't that comfortable with the playbook last year, and it wasn't a good playbook last year. He's going to be more comfortable with all of those things this year. Rafa writes in, to rank a quarterback who hasn't played a game in the NFL ahead of Tua is basically just trolling by them. Yeah, they ranked a couple, I think Trey Lance they ranked ahead of Tua. They definitely ranked Trevor Lawrence ahead of Tua. And listen, whatever, man. Like we don't know we don't know exactly what Jacksonville's going to be like. Maybe Trevor Lawrence throws 15 touchdown passes to Tim Tebow, and Tim Tebow ends up elevating the Jaguars to a Super Bowl appearance. I'm not serious when I say that, by the way. So don't save the receipts on that one. I'm joking. But listen, Trevor Lawrence is so talented. Maybe he ends up having a really good year, whatever. But like Trey Lance, They ranked Justin Fields ahead of Tua. Like basically Mac Jones they ranked ahead of Tua, which is an absolute slap in the face. I mean, Mac Jones may not see the field this year, and when he does, the guy is like a freaking statue in Central Park. Like he's one of those Christopher Columbus statues that got torn down last year. Like he's a statue. Like what is this guy? I mean, he's like he's a quarterback from the year 1999 is what Mac Jones is. Very insulting stuff. Brooklyn Rob, I appreciate you. He says, preach, Alex, all true. And by the way, Brooklyn Rob and I may be enemies when it comes to Serie A because he likes Juventus, I like Inter. But when the Euros come around and then the World Cup next year, we are friends because we unite. We both support the Azzurri. We both support the Italian national team. So Brooklyn Rob and I are going to be really chummy during the month of June when the Euros kick off. When we come back, person we're always chummy with here on Onside Radio, Clay Ferrero from WPLG, anchor reporter from Local 10, does a fantastic job. I want to talk some Miami Heat, maybe a little bit of Miami Dolphins with Clay as well. He's going to join us next here on Onside Radio. Hey, Onside Radio continues to grow, and to make your life easy, you can now find your favorite sports station by downloading the radio.net app. Download the free app and listen to your favorite OnsideRadio.com host or catch a great InterMiami CF game. Go to your app store, download radio.net, and search Onside Radio, the home for the South Florida sports fan.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Listen to every InterMiami CF match on your home for La Rosa Negra, OnsideRadio.com. Catch us every day on the MyTuner Radio app. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
The 25-year-old was reportedly arrested this past week near Vail, where a sheriff's deputy said he saw Camargo's car speeding and changing lanes erratically, which is always really smart. When you're carrying a lot of drugs, you want to speed, you want to swerve, you want to look like you're drunk and high and all that. You want to cause as much attention. You want to bring as much attention to you when you're carrying a load of drugs. That's just a tip for you, thieves out there, you drug dealers, you criminals. Bring all the attention possible to you while you're committing a crime. It's really, really smart.
The Onside Zone with Big O, only on OnsideRadio.com.
Join the InterMiami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit InterMiamiCF.com/tickets for more information.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
The Florida Panthers go down 2-0 in the series after a 3-1 loss last night. The Lightning jumped out to a 2-goal lead early in the first period and never looked back. Next game is tomorrow night in Tampa Bay. Puck drops for that game at 6:30. The Philadelphia Phillies used a 7-run 8th inning to beat the Miami Marlins 8-3. Back at it for Game 2 of the series tonight at 7:05. Trevor Rogers is on the mound for your fish. Also in the MLB, Spencer Turnbull throws the 5th no-hitter of the 2021 MLB season. NBA play-in round is underway for the Eastern Conference. The Pacers routed the Hornets 144-117 in the 9-10 matchup. And in the 7-8 matchup, the Boston Celtics used a 50-point performance from Jason Tatum to beat the Wizards 118-100. Washington will now play the Pacers for the 8th seed in the East. Western Conference play-in starts tonight with Spurs Grizzlies in the 9-10 matchup. Tip-off is at 7:30. Memphis is a 4-point favorite, and at 10, it's the Lakers and the Warriors in the 7-8 matchup. The Lakers are a 5-point favorite. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station, and coming up is more of Man of the Match with Alex Donno right here at OnsideRadio.com.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common, preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Well, let's bring on a South Florida favorite. Clay Ferrero does an awesome job, sports anchor and reporter from WPLG Local 10. We're very WPLG friendly today because we're having Dave Dwork on the show later to take a deeper dive into the Panthers. I wanted to talk some Heat, Dolphins, maybe a little Cats with Clay. Clay, good afternoon, man. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic, Donno. Yeah, there's nobody better to talk Cats than David, man. He is the guru. He is, man. That guy has more hockey knowledge in his pinky than I think any of us combined.
Yeah, and he's obsessed. Like he's like, and I talk to Dave all the time, and he's always talking hockey. It always comes back to hockey with that dude, and I respect it. We give him the outlet here on Onside Radio. Now, Clay, the Heat open up the series with Milwaukee on Saturday. I love and respect the Miami Heat. But why do we insist on bringing out those mustard-colored jerseys again in the playoffs? I heard we're going to wear those trophy gold jerseys. Like, they look so bad. Why do we have to keep busting those out?
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's like a marketing thing. And I do wonder, too, if this may be player-driven. I mean, a lot of times, I know like in the NFL and sometimes with college football as well, they'll let the captains pick the jerseys if they have alternate jerseys and things like that. And so maybe it's a little bit player driven. And if if you look good, you feel good. And if the players, if you feel good, if you look good, you play good. And if the players think they look good, then maybe they'll play better. But I don't know how many people are like running to the stores to buy the trophy gold mustard yellow earned jerseys. Although it does make me feel, it does make me want a hot dog really bad whenever the game comes on.
And right there, I think you answered a question that I didn't ask, but I still want the answer to. So you are a mustard on hot dog guy, right? Because so am I. These ketchup people can go to hell.
Yeah, well, see, mustard, yeah, I'll put mustard on anything. Now, I'm not anti-ketchup. I'll put them both on there, but if you're giving me the choice, mustard or ketchup, and I can only have one, it's mustard. Yeah, the only thing I am anti among the, I guess, traditional condiment, I hate mayo. I cannot do mayo for anything.
See, I like mayo a little bit too much. I'd probably be still at like my 2003 playing weight if I didn't like mayo as much as I do. It's probably not one of the best things you can eat.
Really?
Man. Yeah. I mean, mayo. I like mayo. I mean, I don't go too crazy with it. Like I don't dip my fries in it the way like some French and Dutch people do. But I like it on sandwiches. Like I think it's good on like a turkey sandwich or a chicken sandwich. I enjoy it.
So this is a true story. My second job was in Idaho Falls. You do this, you get into this business and you have to work in some of the smaller markets and build your way up. And, we would go to burger joints and restaurants around there, and you would have 3 containers on the table, your mustard, your ketchup, and then this something that was like a pink, and they would call it fry sauce. Yes. Like, what's this fry sauce? Like, what? It's just mayo and ketchup mixed together, and people use that to dip their fries. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is, number one, it's terrible. I hate mayo. Number 2, why can't we just call it, oh, yeah, we mix mayo and ketchup. Why do we have to have a special name for it, fry sauce? But I don't know, man. That's, when in Idaho, do as the Idahoans do.
And I feel like people in Idaho are probably experts on anything you dip potatoes in, right? Because
This is true. This is true. Yeah. I mean, they seem to like it. I maybe it's fantastic for people who can stand mayo. I just can't do it.
We're joined here by Clay Ferrero from WPLG. Clay, I see certain cocky Heat fans who are embracing going up against Milwaukee because of the success the Heat had against them in the playoffs last year. I say be careful what you wish for. This is not a team that I wanted to face in the first round. I think Giannis is going to be on a mission after losing to the Heat last year. I think their team got better, with that Drew Holiday trade. I think and I'm not saying the Heat can't win the series, but I think it's going to be a very, very tough road ahead. What's your feeling on this series coming up, Clay, and what do the Heat have to do to come away victorious?
Yeah, well, I think Drew Holiday kind of laid down the gauntlet the other day, right, by saying that Milwaukee is the more talented team between the two. Now, he's not wrong, but the one that he wouldn't have been wrong if he had said that in the bubble last year either. And so I think what the Bucks have to prove to me is that, number one, that they've overcome that lack of toughness that I think they didn't have in the bubble last year, and I think in general – They haven't shown a toughness as a team in the past. Now, I do think Drew Holiday adds a huge level of toughness to that team. I have so much respect for that guy. I think he's a fantastic player. You hear NBA players talk about him whenever they're asked. I think there was a podcast with Steph Curry and a couple of other very prominent guys, and they were all excuse me, I had something in my throat. They were all asked who the toughest player to go up against was, if you have him guarding you, and they all said Drew Holiday. Wow. And they also said he's the most underrated player in the NBA. So I think that matters. I think it matters a lot. Look, I also think there's a coaching question. Mike Budenholzer in the past has had some issues with making adjustments during a series. And that's one thing that Spoelstra and his staff did fantastically. So if you're able to do what you did last year, where you make the adjustments in between games and during games, and the Bucks can't do it, then yeah, you got a shot. And I don't know that the talent has improved so dramatically on Milwaukee's side that it would make up for all of that. But hey, maybe they learned from last year, and maybe there's this thing with adding Drew Holiday has added a new measure of toughness to them. So I'm with you. I don't think it's going to be easy at all. I think it's a coin flip series, and I think a lot of it is going to come down to, is this Bucks team tougher than the team that we saw last year, and how much of a difference does Drew Holiday make, taking the pressure off of Giannis with the handling and also defensively?
So, obviously, for the Heat to win this series, we know Jimmy is going to have to be gigantic, and Bam is going to have to be great. Who's the next most important player to you? Because I'm going to go in on Dragic. I think if we can get the version of Dragic that played fantastic in the series against Milwaukee last year, I think that's the next guy who needs to step up. What do you think? Or maybe you give me a different name.
No, I wish I could. I mean, Tyler Hero would be the other one that I would say, has to replicate what we saw in the bubble last year. And with him in particular, I think it was in those moments where things were kind of starting to slip. He would step up and hit a shot. When you needed somebody to hit a big shot, when the game was kind of starting to tip the other way a little bit, he would step up and do it. But no, I think it's Dragic, and it's a no-brainer. And the difference between this team, being who they were last year in the playoffs and who they've been for most of this year, is having Goran Dragic and Tyler Hero playing like they did in the playoffs last year. They've not done that this year up until the last week and a half. So is this something where, hey, this is this team now that Dragic and Hero are back, and Dragic is now fully recovered from that torn plantar fascia and some of the other ailments that he's had, and Hero's foot injury has healed. I mean, if what we saw in the last week and a half with this team, when they had Jimmy Butler, if this is who they are now, then they're as dangerous as anybody. But if they're the team that they were for the first three quarters of the season, where Dragic and Tyler Hero weren't doing what they did last year, then they're an easy first round out. So I'm with you 100%. Those two guys to me are the difference between this team getting knocked out in the first round potentially making a run.
Joined here by Clay Ferrero from WPLG. Clay, I saw something yesterday that annoyed me a little bit. I was looking at this Pro Football Focus story, and it wasn't like one of their metrics-driven things. It was like a column that, projected quarterback productivity, like the most productive quarterbacks for next year from 1 to 32 of the projected starting quarterbacks, and they put our guy Tua at number 29. Like they only 3 quarterbacks they expect to have a worse year than Tua, and it's like, I get it. People love to rip Tua after he was outplayed by Justin Herbert last year, and everybody lost their minds because of that. But I mean, I don't understand. And they had several of the rookies, by the way, Clay, projected better than Tua. Trevor Lawrence, whatever, I'll give you, because the guy maybe is a generational talent. But they had like Mac Jones and Trey Lance ranked ahead of Tua. Like at this point, the disrespect is getting excessive, is it not?
Well, and I'll add something to that. If he's not passing the ball and getting a decent, where are the yards coming from? It's not like they went out and got a first-round running back. It's not like, they didn't go and add an elite back to this back. So they're going to have to get yards somehow. So if you're saying that he's going to be the 29th most productive passer in the league, they're going to be a pretty rough football team to watch. I'm not banking on that. I think, you add Fuller, you add Jalen Waddle, and then all of a sudden you've got that deep element that wasn't there last year. And it's not because Tua can't throw the ball deep. It's because guys weren't getting open. And not only can those guys go deep, but you can use them in different ways as well. I just think that the explosive element that those guys have, when you combine them now with a Mike Gesicki and a Devontae Parker, and hopefully those guys stay healthy, and maybe Preston Williams comes back and can be more like who he was first half of the season before he got hurt. You've got the ability to finally stretch the field, which opens up the stuff underneath that we know Tua is so good at. And teams can't put a bunch of guys in a small box like they did last year. So, no, I'm not buying that at all. And just as much as it's because I think Tua is going to get better, I just think they've improved the weaponry around him in such a big way. And also the fact that they still don't have a running game that you can really lean on consistently. So those yards are going to have to come from somewhere, and I'm banking on Tua.
Clay, did you see what I saw this afternoon on social media, that the North Carolina Tar Heels, the football program, has made championship rings for themselves for winning the state of North Carolina? Like, listen, and I understand my position talking trash against UNC. I know I'm living in a glass house because they beat Miami 62-26 last year. But Clay, I think it's fair to say that what North Carolina did, making championship rings for like beating a couple of other teams within their state, that to me is even worse than Miami losing 62-26. That's embarrassing.
See, I'm confused because I thought that Kevin White, the UCF AD, went to Tennessee. But from what you're telling me, maybe he went to North Carolina. I mean, it's incredibly weak. Don't give out my Twitter handle because UCF fans are going to get really mad at me for that one.
Oh, I rip on them all the time. But actually, you know what? You're right about that, though. They do get very angry. So I'm not going to give out your Twitter handle at this very moment. I'm going to wait like a minute. You're not going to tell people that it's at. You're not going to tell people that it's at Clay WPLG. You're not going to. No, I've had back and forth with some of our friends that are. Jeremy Tash from Fox Sports, from Valley Sports. Yeah, he's our friend too
UCF
here. Yeah.
Guy. We've had some back and forth on there. So UCF fans, I'm joking. I'm having fun. I have a lot of friends that are UCF fans. We do this all the time. So feel free to shoot me some trash talk. I'm used to it.
Good sport here. He's Clay Ferrero. And again, yeah, you can trash talk him on Twitter or just follow him and enjoy his tweets at Clay WPLG. And, of course, you can watch him on WPLG Local 10 here in South Florida. Clay, thank you so much, man, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Anytime, brother. Tell Dave Dwork I said hello.
I will. Yeah, that's right. And good. And Clay, he knows radio, man. That's promotion because Dave is going to join us at 4:35 to talk a little Florida Panthers. By the way, my guy, Brooklyn Rob, was talking all this trash about Juventus having the 1-0 lead in the Coppa Italia final. Atalanta got one back, baby. 1-1 at halftime. I bet Atalanta on the money line for this one, so I'm obviously, for a couple of different reasons, not only my Juventus hatred, but I'm also for betting reasons. And I've got no love for Atalanta. I'm not like a fan of that team or anything. I think their coach is a chooch. Gasperini, the guy's an absolute ass clown. But still, though, my wallet says Atalanta, so I need them to get another goal or two in the second half. 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. I've got to laugh a little bit more at the North Carolina Tar Heels when we come back here on Onside Radio. Hey, for over 30 years, you've been getting the brutal honesty here in South Florida from one radio show. Orlando Alzagari and the Onside Zone. You can hear it daily from noon to 3 p.m. exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnsideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Hey, what's up? It's Toast. May is here, which means hurricane season right around the corner. You need to get PGT custom windows and doors installed in your house so that you're fully protected when we get a big storm coming on through. For those windows, only one place to call. My buddies at B&T Windows and Doors. They've been doing it in South Florida for decades, and they will set you up with the best of the business. PGT custom windows and doors. 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126 for B&T Windows and Doors.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnsideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Dude, seriously, when I first saw this tweet from Carolina Football, it's their verified account. I still had to double check it and triple check it. I thought it was a prank. I thought it was some kind of a Photoshop. So, Carolina Football. And the other thing is, when people publicize something like this, do they like? It's the same thing when the Chicago Bears a couple months back tweeted out that picture of Andy Dalton with the caption QB1. Are they trolling themselves? Like, do they really think that their fan base is going to be like, yeah, we got the red rifle. This guy's awesome. QB1. Let's go Bears. No, you tweet out something like that, you're going to get thousands of comments mocking you. So self-awareness, I guess, is at a premium with some of these programs and teams. So Carolina football, their verified account, I double-checked it, triple-checked it. This is 100% legit, folks. They write, a tribute to the accomplishments of the 2020 season. Hashtag Carolina football, hashtag be the one. And they have actually made a championship ring, or at least a championship style ring, because I don't know if you can like call this a championship ring, a championship style ring that I guess they're giving out to their players and coaches, and I'm sure fans, whoever's like dumb enough, can actually probably buy this and overpay for it. They have actually made a ring that says state champs on one side of it, Brown, as in Mac Brown, HC for head coach on the other side, and a little Orange Bowl logo because they played in the Orange Bowl. This is embarrassing on so many levels. A, the bowl game that they're advertising, they lost in. B, they're advertising a state championship, which is not a real thing. This is college football, not high school football. And you can't even technically say they won the Coastal last year because there wasn't a Coastal. Like they lost. They didn't win the ACC championship. They didn't win their bowl game. They had a really good regular season, but there's no championship in there. A state championship is not even real. What? Because they beat Duke and they beat NC State and Wake Forest, if they even played Wake Forest. Like, and also what's really funny is after they tweeted this out, a bunch of Appalachian State fans are saying, hey, but you guys didn't even play Appalachian State. That's in North Carolina. How do you call yourselves the state champs? It's like, guys, if Miami has a season where they beat Florida State, they don't call themselves state champs if they didn't play Florida and beat them that year. Like, I don't know what this is one of the most embarrassing things I've seen. You know who should be thrilled about this? UCF fans. North Carolina just topped your stupidity. This is worse. At least for UCF, you actually found some fugazi poll that gave you the national title. So technically, you were the national champions of something. What was it? The Border Collie Matrix or something? The Austin Collie Matrix? Some Collie Matrix poll, which is like not recognized outside of like Slovenia, gave them the national title that year, UCF, and so they celebrated a national championship. So at least there was like something factual behind that. North Carolina football made a championship ring for their accomplishments of the 2020 season. This is participation trophy society is getting out of control. Like, we have to make things up to celebrate. Oh my God, I remembered to take my heartburn medication this morning. I'm going to make a championship ring for that. Oh, I actually got out of bed today. I didn't have a headache. Giving myself a championship ring. I'm getting so old and washed. I sat down a little bit too fast today, and I tweaked my hamstring a little bit, but it's feeling better. Maybe I'll make myself a championship ring for that, for being a little bit less creaky than I was a few hours ago. Like, this is absolutely pathetic. So, UCF fans, you're off the hook. North Carolina, way worse. 4 o'clock hour coming up. I'm going to step into the Onside Radio Roundtable when we return. You're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of InterMiami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for InterMiami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
InterMiami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Donno for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all InterMiami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the InterMiami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than the roof above the people you love. At Onside Radio, we recommend Chase Roofing and Contracting. At chaseroofing.com, they care about the customer. Chase Roofing provides reliable roof installation and repair without the destruction to our environment. Chase Roofing is powered by Tamara, who is owner and operated for 18 years. chaseroofing.com is Google top rated and a AAA standing with the Better Business Bureau. Open 24/7. Call them today. Trust chaseroofing.com to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your InterMiami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where InterMiami and all Miami sports fans shop.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, 4 o'clock hour of Man of the Match with Alex Donno. I'm Alex Donno, and I'm with you guys here on OnSideRadio.com. With you until 6 o'clock tonight. That's when we hand it off to Steve Daniels and Miami Sports Music for the fans. So I absolutely love that show, and I'm looking forward to our little crosstalk session with Steve a little less than 2 hours from now. We got Alex Aguirre on the other side of the glass doing his thing. Excellent work as always there by Alex. We got, I've been giving a lot of love to the YouTube chat. I'll give some love on the text line as well. Marla is very active on there, and she writes in, for UCF, they were the national champs of Disney because wasn't that where they held their parade? Yes, it was. That's a great point. And so what I used to say about UCF was, of course, where do you celebrate a fake championship? You celebrate it in Fantasyland. That's exactly where they had their parade. Their championship parade went right past Dumbo, went right past the carousel. It's a Small World all the way through Fantasyland, my friends, because that is where you celebrate a Fugazi fake national championship. You celebrate it, my friends, at Fantasyland. I love that. 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Want to step into the roundtable. So every single day here on Onside Radio, all of our hosts, we address a really important national or local sports story in the roundtable. All of us weigh in from Toast in the morning, Kai Chen Chisholm on Kai's Corner 10 to noon, Big O noon to 3, me from 3 to 6, Steven and the Miami Sports Music crew from 6 to 7. We weigh in on the roundtable topic, and then at the end of the evening, our guy Alex Aguirre, he makes a master cut. He puts all of the sound bites together, and we put it out as a podcast. So I think it's a great listen, the Roundtable. And maybe for some of you who are so devoted to Onside Radio, and we love you, maybe some of you literally every day, and God bless you, you listen from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., or on Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., because I have the Fight Night show with James Walker on Thursdays. And you don't necessarily have to listen back to the edit of the Roundtable because you heard every host weigh in on it. But for those of you and those of us, because I miss some of the shows sometimes, man. For those of us who don't catch, 11 hours or 9 hours of radio every day, 11 hours, I'm not very good at math, 10 hours, whatever it is. It's good to have the Roundtable to be able to listen back to. So today's Roundtable topic, the Miami Heat will begin the playoffs on Saturday against the Bucks. It's a 2 p.m. tip-off, by the way, on Saturday afternoon. The team obviously needs Bam and Butler to play at a very high level. But the question is, who needs to be the third player to step up and complement this duo if they are to defeat the Bucks? I'm not going to overcomplicate this, guys. It's Goran Dragic. It is. I could go and say, well, hey, it could be Dragic, but maybe it's going to be Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson or Dwayne Dedman or Kendrick Nunn. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. It's very clear to me that the next guy who has to step up and have a monster series beyond Jimmy and Bam, who both have to be great and should be great, no excuses, because you can't win this series without them both being great. The next man who needs to step up, it's absolutely Goran Dragic. In fact, Dragic's health and consistency, I think it's going to be the biggest X factor for the Heat in these playoffs. And, of course, these playoffs could just be this one series if you can't beat a Bucks team who is favored here. When the Dragon is at his best and healthy, fit, you've got a big three. When he's not, you don't. And Dragic was so superb last year against the Milwaukee Bucks in that series when the Heat knocked them out of the playoffs. He was Miami's second highest scorer in that series at 19.8 points per game. He was behind only Jimmy Butler in scoring in that series. His assignments against Drew Holiday on both ends of the floor are going to be paramount in this series. Plus, Goran, I think, is going to be extra motivated to really dominate. He's going to be motivated like you can't believe. Goran Dragic coming up, and I was reading this in an Ira Winderman column. He's got a $19.4 million team option for next year. That's a team option, not a player option, which means the Heat might decide not to exercise that option because he's in his 30s, his body's been breaking down a little bit. So Goran Dragic, don't you think he's going to be extra motivated in these playoffs to either show the Heat he's worth picking up that option, and if the Heat don't pick up that option, he's going to be auditioning for a payday somewhere else, or he's going to be auditioning for whatever other deal the Heat will offer him if they don't pick up that option. So you talk about contract year, contract summer, a player who's had some injuries this year and has had a little bit of maintenance late in the season to get healthy for these playoffs. Goran Dragic will be the third most important player in this series, and he might be the single most motivated player in this series because the guy is playing for his financial future, for his family's security, and all of that good stuff. So, yeah, Dragic is absolutely going to have to step up. Now, beyond Dragic, we're going to have to answer a few questions in this series about where the former Jay Crowder production is going to come from, because Jay Crowder was also superb against the Milwaukee Bucks last year. He's in Phoenix now. He's not a member of the Miami Heat. But I think that adds even more importance for Dragic to step up and absolutely dominate in this series. So I didn't have to think twice about this one. When I saw this roundtable question, this topic, I didn't think twice about Goran Dragic needing to be the next man up, the next most important guy after Jimmy and Bam. If Jimmy and Bam are both not great, you're not winning this series. But you're also not winning this series if Dragic doesn't step up and play extra special. Lucha Lalo is in the YouTube chat. He writes in, Donno, now that you say that, speaking of UCF, Orlando City also celebrated an exhibition tournament that they won as if they won an actual cup. Orlando is trash. InterMiami tu papa. That must be an Orlando thing. It must be an Orlando thing, and they're exporting it to North Carolina. Because you're right, Orlando City celebrated an exhibition tournament. Orlando City, they're a bunch of frauds as well. And you know what? And there are some people there that are pretty enthusiastic about their soccer, but it's fraudulent enthusiasm, and I'll tell you why. All it is city pride. And not Orlando City, like pride in the city of Orlando, because what happens there in Orlando, I know some people who live there, and they're all frauds. It's fine. You live the way you live. InterMiami, in this city, you are competing for fandom. You're trying to get people's eyes sometimes away from Heat games that are often played at the same time. We have passion for the Miami Heat, the Miami Dolphins, Miami Hurricanes athletics, Florida Panthers, Miami Marlins. We have so much going on in this town. Not to mention, we have actual organic tourist attractions here, not just make-believe theme parks, right? If you go down to Brickell, you go down to Miami Beach, these are actual, real things happening. We have the beach here. Orlando doesn't have a beach. Somehow they're the only city in Florida without a beach. It's confounding. Every freaking city in Florida except Orlando has a beach. It's pathetic. Nothing there is real. Everything is made up. All of it. How many things in Orlando are fun to do without paying admission for? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. In Miami, you go down, spend a half day on Calle Ocho. You soak up some of the culture. You know how much they charge you at the gate to enter Calle Ocho? Nothing. There's no gate. There's nothing. Okay? This is just culture. This is just an actual city. The only things you can do in Orlando, it's $120 per person for admission. It's all fake. None of it's real. And the other thing is, okay, how is Orlando's NFL team doing? They don't have one. How about Orlando's Major League Baseball team? They don't have one, right? I mean, they've got a terrible, terrible basketball team with no history. Their history was Shaquille O'Neal started his career there. Didn't win shit there. That's their history. A player. Okay, great. Fantastic. And they've got a soccer team. So they've got a bad NBA team, and they've got a soccer team. So that's just the way that they show pride in their city. They have nothing else to do and nothing else to root for. I think you have to own an annual pass just to live in that city. It's crazy. Everything you do in Orlando, Disney World, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, you have to pay admission to do every goddamn thing in that town. None of it is real. So, yeah, people jump on board this Fugazi soccer team. The fact that entire city it's made up, it's a tourist attraction, it's not real, of course they're going to celebrate fake championships. They don't know anything real there, right? I mean, Islands of Adventure, Fantasyland, none of it's real. Of course they're going to celebrate a national title that wasn't really won. It's an absolute loser town, this Orlando. An absolute loser town. Oh, man. Clay Ferrero was awesome, by the way. Is that podcast up yet? Oh, I'm getting the big thumbs up. So if you missed our conversation with Clay Ferrero near the end of the 3 o'clock hour, you can check that out. Later this hour, we're going to talk with Dave Dwork from Chirping the Cats Radio. Got a couple things I want to get into here on the other side. This is actually a pretty cool piece by Jason LaConfora from CBSSports.com. For all of the rookie quarterbacks coming into the NFL, he has predicted what week they are going to start, what week they're going to get introduced as the starting quarterback. But he also adds in, for a couple of them, what week they actually should be starting, in his opinion. I think that's a pretty interesting exercise. We can go through that. And I thought a good, I'm not going to say good, I don't know the guy in real life, IRL, but I know the guy on Twitter, a Florida Panthers fan that I correspond with, had a pretty interesting question about the way we should be viewing this Florida Panthers season. So I want to get into that a little bit as well. 844-416-8123 is the number. That's 844-416-8123. Hey, InterMiami fans, join us for every road game as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company. That's 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano. Join Big O and myself. Enjoy the delicious food and incredible house drafts and giveaways. InterMiami CF fans, your new home for every road game is Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Big O, Tito is not allowed in the Boom Boom Room. Never seen Smokey and the Bandit. Never seen Top Gun. What's the matter with these kids? Look at that. Now you can't hang out with Salma, Paige, Sophia. See, now you can't hang out with the ladies because you have not seen Top Gun.
Yeah, I would just hope that, like I said, the Boom Boom Room is sanitized. I would hope.
Well, I don't know, but did you hear about the 81-person orgy?
No.
What is wrong with you?
The Onside Zone with Big O, only on OnsideRadio.com.
InterMiami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Donno for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all InterMiami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the InterMiami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwart here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m. only on OnsideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Fish fans, time to reel in the latest news in baseball with OnsideRadio.com's Marlins Minute. Here's Alex Aguirre.
Pretty demoralizing loss for the Marlins last night. They went to Philly to play the Phillies, and things are going well. Through 6-7 innings of play, Cody Poteet has been an amazing surprise for the Marlins rotation since he was called up. He's had 2 great outings now, and Jazz Chisholm, really the story of the Marlins game last night. A 2-run homer in the 7th inning to take a 3-1 lead. He is now the only player in Major League Baseball to homer off a 100-mile-an-hour pitch, and not only is he the only one to do it, he's also done it twice now off Jacob deGrom and Jose Alvarado. But sadly, the revamped quote-unquote bullpen fell through. Dylan Floro had his first bust of the season, and the Marlins gave up a lot of runs late in the game, and the Phillies went on to win. The Marlins look to get back on the horse tonight against the Phils. This is a big division series, and they got to do everything to stay afloat.
Keep up with the latest on the Miami Marlins by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit more2adhd.com for additional information. That's more2adhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
And so back during halftime, I realized that the Juventus-Atalanta game, the Coppa Italia final, is on ESPN2, so we could watch it on the TV here. I was like straining to watch it on my computer, and then I'm flipping back and forth between the YouTube chat and the game. I realized I can get it on the big TV to my right. 1-1. Juventus had struck first. Atalanta had the game-tying goal right before halftime, and man, like 5 or so minutes ago, Juventus really should have taken the 2-1 lead. But Federico Chiesa put a curling shot just wide to the right. So I know our guy Brooklyn Rob is invested. He's a big Juventus fan. I am actually invested in Atalanta. I put a little bit of money on Atalanta plus 130, I think, on the money line. So we'll see what happens. Anybody's game, 64th minute, 1-1. I think both teams have created some chances. So we will see who comes out victorious, my friends. Florida Panthers did not come out victorious last night. They dropped a 3-1 decision, including an empty netter. So it was close until the very end. The Panthers had fallen down 2-0. Marchment scored the lone Panthers goal. Congratulations to him. First career playoff goal. That's always cool. You know, you wish it had come in a victory, but still, that's a big career milestone for any player. Panthers have had some of those already. Owen Tippett had his first playoff goal in the first game of the series. So it's always great to see players make their presence felt in the playoffs for the first time. A Twitter account that I follow who's a big hockey fan, Hockey Rob, he's a huge Panthers fan. He put this question out today. He says, quote, if the Panthers are swept, was this season a success at all? And he had like an actual Twitter poll up. I think no was the leader in the clubhouse the last I checked. That most people are saying, like probably about around a 60% majority are saying that it's not a successful season at all if the Panthers are swept. I'll disagree with that, okay? Now, when I first read his question, my initial reaction was, no, it's not successful at all because all that work and you still end up getting clowned in the playoffs. I'm still going to say, yes, the season is a little bit of a success because I give so much credit to the work that Barry Zito is doing. Bill Zito. Barry Zito. Bill Zito, the general manager of the Florida Panthers. And, you know, the work that they're doing to build that roster for the future. It's still exciting to me. And I think that they have made the team tougher, and I think they've found some diamonds in the rough. And looks like they may have found their goalie for the future as well, because I think Spencer Knight, we haven't seen a whole lot of him. I think he's going to be really special. So they're laying foundations. Like, I can't tell you it's a complete failure. Now, first of all, I don't expect the Panthers to get swept. They're not winning this series. You're not going to win the next 4 out of 5 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. You dug a big hole losing these first 2 games. So I think the Panthers are finito. I think they're going to get beaten probably in 6 in this series. I think they're going to fight, make it interesting, but it's just too much to try and beat Tampa 4 out of the next 5 games. Tampa's too good. If you were in an 0-2 hole against Nashville, like if the Panthers had been the 1 seed and they were facing the 4 seed Predators and the Predators started 2-0 in the series, I'd say, yeah, you can come back against that team. Tampa Bay's too good, and then they've been stashing Kucherov. They've been cheating, stashing Kucherov on the long-term injury report, and all of a sudden he's magically recovered for the playoffs, and they're over the salary cap. Like, they're the defending Stanley Cup champs last year. You're not coming back down 0-2 and beating that team. You're also not getting swept. But if they get swept, what do you guys think? 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Or let us know in the YouTube chat as well. If the Panthers get swept by the Tampa Bay Lightning, is the season a success at all? I'm still going to say yes because I think Bill Zito has made that team better. And in a normal year, if you're a 2 seed, you're not going to go up against a team that good. Like, the alignment was so strange this year. Now, I guess why people would try to say it's not a success at all would be, this team still can't find any success whatsoever in the postseason. You haven't won a playoff series since 1996. That's bad. Like, that's a bad look for your resume. This team has not been relevant throughout, recent history. It's unfortunate because I love the Florida Panthers. I want this team to be great. I want this team to hoist Stanley Cups. So it's sobering. It's sobering if you get swept in this series, and then the last time you were in the playoffs last year, you're in the play-in last year. You lost. It was a 5-game series. You lost in 4 to. You got clowned by the New York Islanders. You lost in 4. A few years ago, 2016, you played the Islanders in a best-of-7 series, and, they were tougher than you. Like, it was a good series, competitive. It was 6-gamer. The Islanders won. They out-muscled you, basically. They had the tougher team. That was the difference. That's why Bill Zito wanted to make this team tougher. You got beaten 7 games by the New Jersey Devils. I think it was 2012 or 2013, the previous time they'd been in the playoffs, and you haven't won a playoff series since 1996. I know why you would be tempted to call this season a failure if you get swept because the results are not getting better in the playoffs. But I'm telling you, it's not a complete failure. It's like a 70% failure, but it's not a complete failure because this team is getting better even if they were to get swept this year, and I feel very confident in that opinion. Rosendo says, good afternoon, Donno and Onside Radio family. Any food talk for today? I'm not sure yet, but I can tease something for later on. Today's Wednesday, which means you get a little Wednesday wisdom. Later on in the show, I've got a really compelling soundbite in favor of the existence of aliens. We like to do that on Wednesday Wisdom. I have the former leader of the free world, and not the one that was just recently the leader, the one before that. A little bit, so somebody who usually says less crazy things, who gives us a strong hint that aliens are in fact real. And I'm going to have that audio for you a little bit later on. So that's going to be really good, okay? I want to ask my guy Alex Aguirre, do you believe in aliens? Like, are you one of those who says, absolutely not, we are alone in this universe? Are you convinced there are aliens? Are you more of the attitude of, there could be, maybe, I'm open to it?
Maybe, I'm open to it. Yeah, probably. I think so.
I am 1,000% convinced there are aliens. The only thing I can't guarantee you is there's definitely life out there. Maybe most of it is not even as advanced as we are, which is kind of a scary thought. Now, if there were aliens out there that have actually found us and made contact with us, like those UFO sightings we see every now and then, the ones that the Pentagon can't actually explain, if those are actually from other planets, we're screwed because they're way smarter than us. They're way more advanced than us, and they could kill us anytime they wanted to. That's not good. So you don't want to piss them off. You don't want to make them angry because if those tic-tac-toe UFOs are actually from other planets and they're not some kind of an optical illusion or some kind of U.S. Air Force secret technology, if that's actually beings from other planets, they could probably press one button like an Independence Day and just wipe us off the face of the earth. So that's not good. But the former leader of the free world did address the alien topic, and I think it's worth playing, so we're going to have that a little bit later. Brooklyn Rob said, no first-round exit and attached to a bad Bob contract. I give the Panthers the benefit of the doubt on that one because you got to blame Bob. It's not a bad contract, and I'll tell you why. Most teams would have given him that contract. You were competing with other teams for his signature. I watched Sergei Bobrovsky before he got to Florida. The guy was incredible. Like, I don't know what happened. He's not terrible, but when Sergei Bobrovsky, listen, Donno, people talk a lot of shit, but when I was Columbus Blue Jacket, I made a lot of stop. I stop a lot of shot. I make a lot of save. It's not very much like Soviet Russia. You wait in line 14 hours for healthcare. Oh, man, I think, Juventus just scored. Wow. Brooklyn Rob, I know, is happy. Federico Chiesa, he's the guy who should have scored about 10 minutes ago, pulled it wide. That's big. Jeez. It's not good for my wallet. This is one of those weeks, man, between the giant crypto dip and all the bets I've lost this week. This is just one of those weeks I can't get out of my own way. I like for the entire month of April, basically, I was on a heater, right? Every UFC bet that I made would cash. Every soccer bet I couldn't lose. I was doing all these cash outs. And, of course, I'm cashing out into Bitcoin, which took a gigantic dip today. But this week, can't win on crypto. Crypto keeps dipping like crazy. All this FUD from Elon Musk and China. Oh, China's banning Bitcoin now. I hold LeBron James personally responsible for that, by the way. Everything China does, I blame LeBron because he's very pro-communism and very pro-China. So I feel like LeBron is to blame for this. So I'm taking L's left and right in crypto, taking L's left and right in gambling. This has just not been my week, man. But we're going to weather the storm. I'm hodling my crypto. I'm not going to stop gambling because we're going to turn it around, man. You take the bad weeks with the good. We are going to turn it around. I can promise you that. Brooklyn Rob, yes, he said in the chat. Oh, man. Now, if there's any team that can score 2 goals in less than 20 minutes here, it's Atalanta. Very fluid attacking team. So we'll see what happens. Oh, yeah, Rosendo says, that's right. You don't want E.T. to come back looking for his Reese's Pieces. Oh, man, I haven't watched that film in a hot second. That's actually one of the best things about Orlando. I know I just trashed Orlando in a recent segment, but Orlando, I love the E.T. ride. Are you a fan of that, Alex? Now, the E.T. ride is older than you. Like, you were born in the mid-'90s. The E.T. ride has been there since the park opened in 1990. So are you a fan of that ride?
I have good memories on that ride when I was a young kid. Yeah, going on with my family and grandparents and stuff like that. Because that was a ride that I can go on with my grandparents.
Yeah.
Because it was a slow ride and stuff. And they were still kind of young-ish, but they were still old, you know what I'm saying? They can still go on rides. So, yeah, that's why I have memories of, like, those type of rides, the rides of like, they're way, way from back then. But now no one goes on that ride anymore.
I do. If
it's always empty.
If they ever tear it down, I'm going to be so sad. Now, a buddy of mine who's, like, an expert in theme parks has told me he doesn't see them ever tearing down the E.T. ride, because they actually cut a deal with Steven Spielberg. Because Steven Spielberg does a lot of stuff for the parks. He has to license them Jurassic Park because they have all those Jurassic Park attractions and Islands of Adventure. And he was like a big part of like designing Universal Studios, so that they have to keep Steven Spielberg happy. And Steven Spielberg loves the E.T. ride, and he does not want them to tear it down. So no matter how old it gets and no matter how dwindling the attendance in that ride might be, because obviously when people go into Universal, they want to ride, the Mummy, and they want to ride all the Harry Potter nonsense, and they all the newer stuff, the Rip Ride rocket roller coaster thing. And like, nobody goes on E.T. except for me and except for Alex and his abuela. Like, there's the only people going on E.T. But Steven Spielberg doesn't want him to tear it down. So if he doesn't want him to tear it down, they're not going to tear it down. So that's good news on that front. We're going to talk with our resident hockey expert, David Dwork. We're going to talk some Florida Panthers with Dave when we come back here on Onside Radio. And make sure you catch his show, Chirping the Cats Radio. Florida Panthers fans have a place to call home every Saturday morning. David Dwork hosts Chirping the Cats every Saturday at 10 a.m. Onside Radio is committed to all sports, and Panthers fans can now connect every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. with Dwork on the home for Panthers fans worldwide, OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than the roof above the people you love. At Onside Radio, we recommend Chase Roofing and Contracting. At chaseroofing.com, they care about the customer. Chase Roofing provides reliable roof installation and repair without the destruction to our environment. Chase Roofing is powered by Tamara, who is owner and operated for 18 years. chaseroofing.com is Google top rated and a AAA standing with the Better Business Bureau. Open 24/7. Call them today. Trust chaseroofing.com to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your InterMiami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where InterMiami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Florida Panthers go down 2-0 in the series after 3-1 loss last night. Lightning jumped out to a 2-goal lead early in the first period and never looked back. Next game's tomorrow night in Tampa Bay. Puck drops at 6:30. Philadelphia Phillies used a 7-run 8th inning to beat the Miami Marlins 8-3. Back at it for Game 2 of the series tonight at 7:05. Trevor Rogers will be on the mound for your Miami Marlins. Also in the MLB, Spencer Turnbull throws the 5th no-hitter of the 2021 season. NBA playing round is underway for the Eastern Conference. The Pacers routed the Hornets 144-117 in the 9-10 matchup, and in the 7-8 matchup, the Boston Celtics used a 50-point performance from Jason Tatum to beat the Wizards 118-100. Washington will now play the Pacers for the AC in the East. Western Conference playing starts tonight with the Spurs Grizzlies in the 9-10 matchup. Tip-off at 7:30, and Memphis is a 4-point favorite. And at 10, it's the Lakers and Warriors in the 7-8 matchup, and the Lakers are a 5-point favorite. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station. Coming up, it's more Man of the Match with Alex Donno, right here at OnsideRadio.com.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
My daughter Brinley is here at St. Jude. Coming here was literally life or death, and it was so scary. But St. Jude is fighting for one goal, like this one mission, life. And that gave us hope. We haven't received a single bill from St. Jude, so I really can just focus on what's best for Brinley.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
was very bummed last night to see our Florida Panthers fall into an 0-2 hole. It's not where I thought we'd be, not where I wanted to be. You now have to beat the defending Stanley Cup champs in 4 out of the next 5 games if you hope to advance. Will not be easy. We bring on our resident hockey expert, and as he pointed out on Twitter, we're giving a lot of love to Local 10 WPLG today because Dave works for WPLG. Clay Ferrero does as well. He joined us earlier. Dave is also part of the Onside Radio family here. Dave Dwork, he hosts Chirping the Cats Radio. Now, Dave, I was bold enough to say early in the show that I think the Panthers are finished. I am declaring this series to be a loss. Do you feel the same way, or can you convince me? Can you make the case for the Florida Panthers climbing out of this 0-2 hole?
Well, sure. I mean, that's why they play best of 7 and not best of 3, right? This isn't the Major League Baseball circa 1995. We play 7-game series here. We're big boys. No, I mean, look, the first 2 games have been tight. They've been, save for an empty net goal, you've got 2 one-goal games, and simple mistakes that can clean up. That can get cleaned up. The Panthers were a little loosey-goosey with the puck yesterday, and it cost them a couple of times. And in the first game, I mean, you saw a couple defensive breakdowns cost them dearly in the third period. If they can clean it up, which we've seen them do throughout the season, then they can absolutely get back into this series. They're the only team in really the entire division that had any success winning games in Tampa. They're the only team in the division that had any success really beating Tampa all-star goaltender, probable Vezina winner, Andrei Vasilevsky as well. So while, yeah, it's a unfortunate situation to be in, you just lost 2 games at home, it wouldn't be a totally unoriginal script to see them flip it and turn it around and turn the series back in their favor. So, yeah, it's a shitty position for them to be in, no doubt. I don't like it at all, but there's no way that I'm ready to throw in the towel.
I like it. I like the confidence from Dave. Dave, do we have any idea or any suspicion who is going to start in goal in Game 3?
Do we have any suspicion? I do. Q said today that they were going to decide. He spoke this morning. He said that they'd decide sometime today, and I imagine we'll find out tomorrow morning at the morning skate in Tampa. My suspicion personally is that he goes back to Sergei Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
And rolls him out there and sees what happens. Wait to see if one of these 2 goalies can catch a little bit of fire, or at least, at this point, lead the team to victory. I think that's the bar at this point. If Bob goes out there and the Panthers win 5-4 tomorrow and Bob's kind of then he still can go back to Chris Driedger. I mean, it's kind of how the situation has rolled throughout at least the second half of the season, how Joel Quenneville has handled the goaltenders. But if I had to guess, if I had to put any money on it, and you know how good I am at that, Alex, I'd probably go with Sergei Bobrovsky in Game 3, and then just kind of see how it rolls.
Now, I like to get your expertise because you played goalie. You watch that position with more of a trained eye than I do. Now, the stats would tell me, Driedger was better in Game 2 than Bob was in Game 1 by virtue of the fact that 5 goals got past Bob in that first game. Only 2 got past Driedger because, of course, the third was an empty netter. So is there more to that story, Dave? Because you watch the goalies with a better trained eye than I do. Do you think one was better than the other in these first 2 games, or do you think it was kind of a wash?
It's really hard to gauge because, as you said, on the surface, it looks like obviously Driedger had a better game because he gave up a lot less goals. And look, if I had to give the nod to one of the 2, it'd probably be Chris Driedger. But when you looked at the 2 games, there were a lot more high-danger opportunities that Tampa was generating in Game 1 than they did in Game 2.
Right.
Tampa's 2 goals in Game 2 were kind of, a little bit fluky. One of them goes off your own defenseman. The other one, goes off the elbow of the post, and then it's a fluttering shot that goes over your shoulder. I mean, those are tough for any goalie to stop. So what Chris Driedger did that I liked is he stopped everything really reasonably within his power that he could be expected to stop in Game 2. And that, I think, is why, personally, I would go back to Chris Driedger. I feel more comfortable with him. I think while Sergei Bobrovsky can look a bit spectacular with some of the saves he makes and really dynamic, I think that's kind of a testament to the style he plays. He's fluid with the way he moves his lower body, and that can sometimes get him into trouble, which you saw in Game 1, where he overcompensated a bit and slid himself right out of position for a rebound. So it's really, pick your poison. I think what I would do is go with Driedger. I feel like he's just been more consistent and more controlled, compact. As terms of what I like to see out of a goaltender, I really like watching Chris Driedger play hockey, and I think right now he's probably the better of the 2. But as I said, I do think that just based on the way Q has rolled with the situation all year, that he ends up probably going back to Bob tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong. I'd like to see Driedger back out there.
Me too.
But, yeah.
Dave, I saw a Twitter account I follow, a big Panthers fan, Hockey Rob. He put out a question this morning, and to me, I'm not with the negativity that some of the people responding have, but he asked this hypothetical. Now, I don't think this is going to happen, but if the Panthers were to get swept in this series, would you call this season any sort of a success? I still would. I mean, obviously, that would be a catastrophic playoff result, and this would still be a team then that has not advanced past the first round since 1996, so that's not good. But I can't call this season a failure, even if they were to get swept, because I still think Bill Zito is building this team the right way. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you kind of alluded to it right there, Alex. I mean, obviously, it's a failure if you get swept out of the playoffs, but that's, a short-term failure. I think if you're playing the long game, which obviously the Panthers, you try to win in the short term and you try to set yourself up long term. I think in the long game, the Panthers have set up better than they've been maybe in their history right now.
Yeah.
And also, you can't discredit. Now, look, you can't lose it. You don't want to lose. Okay. Obviously, losing a series sucks. Whether you lose it in 4, whether you lose it in 7, doesn't matter. Getting beaten in the playoffs sucks. But there is something to appreciate in learning lessons. And look at your opponent right now. Look at Tampa. Last year, they won the Stanley Cup, right? Mm-hmm. The year before that, they got swept in the first round.
Yeah.
They learned some pretty damn valuable lessons in that series. They came back the next year and were gangbusters. So while, it might suck in the short term, it will suck in the short term if they lose. Whether it's a failure or not, I think that's going to be something that plays out over the course of the next season or a couple of seasons, and we see what the Panthers can perhaps gain from the short-term failure if they end up losing the series. That's kind of like where my mind is at with that.
Are you as outraged as I am by the fact that Tampa Bay are using what I feel is an ineligible player? This Nikita Kucherov nonsense. And I know that they didn't technically break any rules, Dave, but this guy was skating for weeks. They stashed him on that long-term injury report. They were over the salary cap. I have, just so you know, I sent a strongly worded letter to Gary Bettman, and I gave him 2 options. He can either disqualify Tampa Bay from the entire series, or he can just disqualify Kucherov, which means he can't play the rest of the way, and his 2 goals in Game 1 would be disallowed, meaning the Panthers have the Game 1 victory, so the series would be 1-1. I gave him those 2 options. Either Tampa is completely disqualified or just Kucherov is disqualified. I am yet to hear a response from Gary Bettman, which is I think is pretty poor commissionering, if that's even a word. But how do you feel about this whole situation?
I'm just picturing like Gary Bettman walking out for an impromptu press conference, holding a printed out copy of your letter in his hand.
And it's in Comic Sans. It's written in Comic Sans, by the way.
Oh, a la Cleveland Cavaliers owner.
Yep. Dan Gilbert.
Daniel Gilbert. No, but look, I think Tampa, they operated within the rules that are out there. And it's not just that they held him out. Like they could afford to hold him out, which is something that most teams wouldn't be able to do with their superstar player. Because, could he have potentially returned health-wise sometime over the last month? I mean, nobody knows but Tampa for sure, but, it seems like it's a possibility. So if Tampa, say, was in a playoff chase as opposed to being securely fastened in the playoffs, maybe they would have had to make some different moves. Maybe they would have had to cut some cap in order to get him back in there. They afforded themselves that luxury to be able to, circumvent or however you want to put it, to keep him out. So, while it's, not anything that anybody really likes to see, like you said, they didn't break any rules. So are we really mad at Tampa for operating within the rules, or are we mad at the league and the Players Association who agreed to the rules as they are?
Yeah, I guess my anger is with the league and the Players Association. That is a fair argument. So, Dave, do you have a prediction for Game 3? Are we going to get at least within a game here and cut the lead down to 2-1?
Yeah, we better. I mean, this Panthers team has shown, they've been very resilient all year. They were the comeback cats, and we saw them mount the comeback in Game 1. We saw them almost mount the comeback in Game 2. And, look, you know as well as I do that when, as much fighting as you've covered in your career, when you put a guy's back against the wall, that's where he's going to come back at you as hard as he possibly can until he can't stand anymore. Now, are the Panthers completely backed against the wall right now? I mean, I guess 3-0 down in the series would be that. But, once you're down 3-0, you're basically on the mat in an armbar with no chance of redemption. So I think if the Panthers have to get a win, in Game 3. Otherwise, it's really over at that point. So I don't want to make the score prediction until I know who's in goal. But either way, I'd like to say the Panthers are going to come back out. They get Sam Bennett, which infuses a little bit more offense and grit, which you could really say they were a Sam Bennett away from coming back in Game 2. So
which is another reason I'm mad at the NHL. I'm glad you reminded me. I'm mad at the NHL for that, too, because Tampa could have had players suspended.
Yeah. So I think right now it's kind of reaching the boiling point is reaching to its mass, and I think the Panthers hopefully have had just about enough. As this is a great team. This isn't just the Panthers of always. This is a different Panthers team we've seen this year. To think that they would just kind of roll over the way a past Panthers team would, I don't think is fair to assume. So I'm not super confident because Tampa is so good, but I think that if there's ever a time for the Panthers to show us that they are not who a lot of fans think they are today, Game 3 is going to be their time to really, what's the phrase? Put up or shut up.
Put up or shut up, yep. And just so you know, because you're an excellent reporter, if I get an email back from Gary Bettman, I will leak it to you first, okay?
No, I want to see him walk out there with the printed out letter saying, attention NHL, I have received this strongly worded letter from South Florida, and it has touched me.
I gave him two choices. Like Tampa can either forfeit the series or they just have to forfeit Kucherov. In fact, we should pull an Adam Banks. Like Kucherov should have to play for us for the rest of the series.
See, that I like. I like that. The cake eater switches sides. I love it. The Cooch eater. Ooh.
I'm dead.
Hit the dump button because that was not what I intended to say.
There is no dump button, sir. It is on the record forever.
Out of context.
Too funny.
Any Mighty Ducks reference is good, though.
Dave Dwork does awesome work. Follow him on Twitter at David Dwork. Check out his work for WPLG.com. And, of course, Chirping the Cats every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on Onside Radio. Dave, thank you so much, man, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Oh, I'm going to get fired.
That's so great. And the funny thing was, I don't even think he did it on purpose. He didn't realize what he said until after it was said. That was too good, man. 844-416-8123 is the number. That's 844-416-8123 on the text line. We will wrap up the 4 o'clock hour when we come back. Hey, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., Sean Stanley hosts the Squared Circle Digest. Wrestling fans have a place to call home. Sean covers the very colorful world of pro wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Join the InterMiami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwork here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., only on OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Hey, Big O, what's going on? Listen, I just was telling your guy that answering the phone, Alex, it's just a pleasure, man, to get out of work and get in your car and be able to put on the radio and hear South Florida sports and not have to listen to some bull crap about another team from another state that you can give to a rat's ass about and sit there and have to go through all this other bull crap talk to, again, never hear them talk about your team once or twice in 20 hours. It's just an honor, and I wanted to thank you, man, for starting this thing up, man. It's balls to the walls. I love it.
Onside Zone with a Big O from 12 noon to 3 p.m. every weekday on OnSideRadio.com. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger.
He was a captain and ginger, captain and ginger. He was a captain and ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Thanks again to Dave's Work for joining us. Clay Ferrero was with us in the 3 o'clock hour. At 5:20, we're going to talk with Juan Cardona. Crypto Cardona from Juan on One is going to join us at 5:20 today. I mentioned earlier I wasn't sure if I had any food topic today, but Marla came through on the text line. She says, on the topic of food, let's discuss your favorite muffin flavor from this list. And I got to tell you, I think muffins are a little underrated. Like, do you, Alex, you're a young guy, do you consider muffin to be like an older person's food? Like, are the 20-somethings eating muffins these days?
Yeah.
Really?
If it's good. But yeah,
Okay,
I kind of think muffins is more of an older person thing.
That's what I thought, yeah.
But yeah, if it's good, it's good. I would eat it, yeah.
A good muffin is like a guilty pleasure. So out of this list, I'll tell you my favorite. Here are the options that she provides. Blueberry, zucchini, cornbread, chocolate, pumpkin, or banana nut. Now, I'm going to eliminate zucchini because I'm always weirded out about vegetable muffins. Like, I like zucchini. Like, zucchini muffins are not terrible, but still, like, listen, zucchini should be, like, grilled, fried, put some olive oil, a little salt on it. Like, I don't need a zucchini muffin. It's ridiculous. Cornbread muffins are pretty good. So are blueberry muffins. I think blueberry is the most overrated muffin. Like, people act as if blueberry is, like, the default muffin. Like, the blueberry muffin gets treated like the chocolate chip cookie. Like, it's like the staple muffin. I don't understand why. Like, they're fine, but the blueberry muffin is not the end-all, be-all. No, it's overrated. Chocolate muffin. To be honest, as much as I love chocolate muffin, sometimes they come out a little dry. So they're usually not my favorite. Like, I actually prefer chocolate chip muffins than chocolate muffin. Banana nut, honestly, for me, it comes down between pumpkin or banana nut. I love pumpkin muffins. I really do. And I'm not a big fan of pumpkin stuff for the most part. Pumpkin pie, I don't like the texture of it. I'm not a big custard guy. Pumpkin spice lattes, it's not really coffee. I'm a coffee purist, but I do love pumpkin muffin. I think I give the slight edge to banana nut. See, I consider banana nut to be the staple muffin the way a lot of people consider blueberry. I love everything banana. I love bananas. I love chocolate-covered bananas, frozen bananas, banana bread, banana nut muffins. Yeah, give me some of that. I think I give – here's my power ranking of muffins, okay? Banana nut number 1. Pumpkin number 2. This is out of these options, by the way. Banana nut number 1, pumpkin number 2, blueberry number 3, cornbread number 4, chocolate number 5, zucchini number 6. So say we all. That's the order. 5 o'clock hour coming up here on Onside Radio. I want to get into this interesting prediction from Jason LaConfora of what week the rookie quarterbacks are going to get their first start in the NFL this year. Plus, I got to pick Alex Aguirre's brain on this. The old Marlins owner, CEO, is going to get his own ESPN Films documentary coming up, so that's going to be pretty interesting. Hey, every Saturday at 11 a.m., soccer fans can connect with Austin Robillard with Red Card Radio. From the Premiership to the MLS, catch up with your favorite team, including our very own InterMiami CF. Listen to Red Card Radio every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with Austin Robillard exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodyAsDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moody-Ass family. Dr. Moody-Ass is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodyAsDental.com.
Welcome back to Miami Sports Music for the fans. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the Radio.net app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Hey, it's Toast, and when I got PGT custom windows and doors installed at my house last year from B&T Windows and Doors, I knew that I was protecting my house when it came to hurricanes, but I was also investing in my house. My value went up. My home insurance cost went down. Yeah, I can now get more for my house when I sell it because I had PGT custom windows and doors installed courtesy of my buddies at B&T Windows and Doors. Just another reason why you should upgrade your house today. Give them a call, 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126, B&T Windows and Doors.
Miami Dolphins fans can always count on the best coverage at OnsideRadio.com. Every week, keep up with your favorite team as Dolphins writer Omar Kelly joins us with exclusive reports. And when news breaks, catch the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans everywhere, OnsideRadio.com. You're listening to the flagship station of InterMiami CF, OnsideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, 5 o'clock hour, Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Till 6 o'clock here on OnsideRadio.com. At around 5:50, we'll do a little crosstalk with Stephen D. from Miami Sports Music. He has Miami Sports Music for the fans every single evening. They do a really good job, Steve. He's got a great thing going, building the whole brand for Miami Sports Music. And, of course, Solo D, another good friend of mine, is the godfather of Miami Sports Music. And these two guys, they are always grinding. I mean, Steve does like 3 shows a day because he's got a whole podcast and YouTube network with Miami Sports Music, and he knows his shit too. Like I've been on his show before, and like they've got really good production values on their YouTube channel. They're doing really big things at Miami Sports Music, so I look forward to helping Steve usher in episode 3 of Miami Sports Music for the fan. Yeah, I will offer congratulations to our buddy Brooklyn Rob. He's a big Juventus supporter. They did just win Coppa Italia. The Coppa Italia final just went final. The final score 2-1 Juventus over Atalanta. Obviously, I despise Juventus, but Brooklyn Rob is a good guy. So I will wish you congratulations. And then Mike No Go Zones in the chat. He's a big Serie A fan as well. He's a Lazio supporter. He said, another trophy for Juventus. But I pointed out, not an important one, at least. Coppa Italia, it's like the little domestic tournament that they do in Italy. It's not as important as the Scudetto, which is the big one. Obviously, a Champions League trophy, even a Europa League trophy, I would say, is bigger than Coppa Italia. So Coppa Italia, it's only a trophy you brag about if it's your second or third trophy. Like if it's part of a treble. Like when Inter won the treble in 2010 under Mourinho, they won the Scudetto, which is the Serie A title. They won Champions League, which is huge, and they also won Coppa Italia that season, 3 trophies, the treble. So the Coppa Italia standalone, kind of weak. But when it's, your second or third trophy, then that is something to brag about. Lucho Lalo says, but Donno, what about the U.S. Open Cup trophy? Would it still be celebrated here if Inter Miami win that? Yes, and that's because that would be their first trophy. So absolutely. Yeah, U.S. Open Cup would be our equivalent here, for the domestic leagues. That would be like our equivalent to Coppa Italia or to the English FA Cup. If Inter Miami, if they win any trophy, it's a big deal because that's history. That's franchise history. In fact, had Atalanta, not Juventus, won the Coppa Italia today, that would have been a really big deal for Atalanta because that club has not won a major trophy since 1963. I mean, that was the year John F. Kennedy was shot. 1963 is the last time that club won a major. They're like the New York Jets. 1963, the last time they won a major trophy. So that would have been a big deal for Atalanta. It's not as big of a deal for Juventus, although I know Juventus have had a really tough year, Rob. So, I guess winning any trophy is kind of good because they've had some hard times this season. So, yeah, it's not the biggest deal in the world. But to answer Lucho's question, yeah, if Inter-Miami win the U.S. Open Cup, I'm going to be doing cartwheels and somersaults, and I'm going to be high-fiving strangers because, yeah, like first trophy in club history is massive. That would be a massive deal for us. So I would be all aboard that. And a huge welcome again to everybody who's aboard on the YouTube chat. Lucho is in there. Mikey No Go Zones. Joseph Rodriguez. Oh, and by the way, Joseph Rodriguez, this is high praise for the banana nut muffin. He says, it's banana nut all the way, and I hate bananas. That's one of those things, like, I don't like mangoes, but I like mango-flavored things. And I don't think it's that unusual, because, like, if you've had mango-flavored, like, candy and, like, pastries, and then you bite into an actual mango for the first time, it's so disappointing. Like, this is it? It doesn't really taste like anything, and the texture's weird. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. He doesn't like bananas, but he likes banana nut muffins. I don't like mangoes, but I like mango-flavored things. Tomato, tomato. We're all good. So we got Lucho in there, no-go zones, Joseph Rodriguez, Brooklyn Rob, of course, Rosendo. Oh, Saint and Mouse Productions is back. Hello to you, sir. And yeah, we're having a good time in the chat. I've seen Rafa in Miami in there as well. Indade is in there. He says Tampa sent Kucherov off the roster to stay under the cap. It's shady, but not illegal. Yeah, he's right. I mean, technically, what they did was within the rule. I just think the rule sucks. So I guess at the end of the day, it's not really Tampa's fault. It's the NHL's fault for having such a rule in place. So it is what it is. All right, so this is pretty interesting. Jason Laconfora from CBS Sports, he said, from Zach Wilson to Mac Jones, there's no holding back rookie quarterbacks in 2021, for better or for worse. He says, making sense of when the 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round should debut in the 2021 season. So he went through the 5 rookie quarterbacks. He said, here is a very early look at when I believe these kids will begin taking over as starters and when it might make most sense for them to do so. He says, and yeah, I'm going to be a little bit cheeky with some of these recommendations. So Trevor Lawrence is one's a no-brainer. Trevor Lawrence is going to be their week 1 starter in Jacksonville. He says, no need to overthink this one. He's been the best quarterback in this country since high school, since he was in like 6th grade, he says. Yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is, there's no doubt, unless he gets hurt, he's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars week 1 starter. And it gets a little bit more interesting after that, though. Then he gets to Zach Wilson. He says week 1 he's going to start, but Laconfora says he should start week 7. And I'm with him on that because Zach Wilson, a little bit more of a project. I mean, he's a bit more erratic. You know, he comes from BYU, so he wasn't facing the sort of competition that Trevor Lawrence was facing at Clemson and playing for national championships. So, yeah, Zach Wilson, I totally get it. I mean, the reality of the NFL, like he's saying, he's probably going to be the week 1 starter for the Jets, but he probably shouldn't start until later in the year. He says, I know it isn't sexy. I know there's no chance this will happen, but I would allow this roster to congeal a bit and feel out its strengths and weaknesses before throwing this very green 21-year-old into this cauldron. Of course, I'm wasting my time because you don't even have a capable backup on the roster yet, which tells you all you need to know about what they are selling in New York and who is playing in the opener. They aren't even feigning competition, he said. Maybe they'll sign Nick Mullins, but we are already into the offseason program. This is Wilson's team, for better or for worse, and let's just say I have reservations about him being ready and them being ready around him. Week 7, the Jets are coming off a bye and playing at New England. That would be around when I'd want to bleed him in, but it seems like a moot point, so I can totally respect that. Trey Lance, 49ers, week 1, he says. says, follow me here. He will see the field in various packages right away. Oh, that's interesting. So he doesn't. Oh, that's a good call. So he doesn't necessarily think Lance is the starting quarterback, like the earnest starting quarterback, but that he's going to see the field. He says they are paying Jimmy Garoppolo another $25 million to play football and trying to win right now. And the last time Jimmy G was healthy for a meaningful stretch of time, they were in the Super Bowl. Now, will he succumb to injury again, especially in a longer season? He very well might. And 3 months into the season in particular might be around when things break down a bit with him. I could see a scenario where a healthy Jimmy G plays all year like Alex Smith his last year in KC, and Lance doesn't start until week 18 if there is nothing at stake for the playoffs by then. I could also see a scenario in week 11, which is where they face Jacksonville, where if the 49ers aren't going great and they lose to the Rams the week before that, the kid takes over with the 49ers facing a lesser defenses for most of the way. Okay, so basically that's like a technicality. Like Trey Lance won't be their starting quarterback week 1, but he's going to play a little bit starting week 1. Justin Fields, Bears, he says week 4. Sounds about right. Hey, remember, Andy Dalton is quarterback 1, right? That's what they keep saying. Nagy, Noogie, no, whatever his name is. He keeps saying that he's good. That Andy Dalton is quarterback 1. So we're definitely going to see Justin Fields at some point, but it won't be right away. Then Mac Jones. This is interesting. He says Mac Jones, Patriots. He predicts week 1, but should start week 4. I'm very intrigued by that. Because honestly, for my money, if you ask me to predict who gets the first start at quarterback for the Patsies, I would have predicted Cam Newton. But it looks like La Canfora is going the other way. He says Bill Belichick will let this play out through the summer between Jones and Cam Newton. I suspect Jones shows he can better run the totality of the offense, and Newton has a role in certain situations where he can charge the run game and beat people with play action out of jumbo looks. Maybe Newton's throwing motion and accuracy will return to previous form, but if it's anything like last year, the rookie is going to prevail. For the sake of drama, however, it would be a juicy subplot if his debut comes in week 4 with with Tommy Brady and the Super Bowl champs coming to New England for the game of the century. It's actually precisely the kind of thing the hoodie would want to avoid, but it would add a little spice to an early regular season that is already burning up the secondary ticket market. Yeah, we talked about that last week. The secondary market, tickets for Tampa Bay versus New England in Foxborough, the most expensive ticket in regular season history. Like, it's massive. You know, not only is it Tommy Brady returning to Foxborough for the first time as a member of another team, but remember, people have been locked down for the better part of the last 15, 16 months already, and this game isn't until October, so it's only going to be boiling over for longer. Now, yeah, I think like everything, I think Massachusetts is starting to open up a little bit more, but they were, that's a much bluer state than Florida, so Massachusetts was kept shut down and locked down a lot longer than we were, so those people are jonesing to get back into a stadium. The mass holes in Boston are absolutely chomping at the bit to get back into Gillette Stadium to watch a game. And they get to welcome their favorite son, Tommy Brady, back to that stadium. So that is going to be really massive for them. So there you have it, the La Canfora predictions. He says Mac Jones, he predicts he'll start week 1, which is interesting because I really would have thought Cam Newton. But he's right. If Belichick really does open things up in training camp, there's a chance Newton is still ass because he was ass last year. Couldn't throw accurately. Now, I thought last year he was, he dealt with COVID, and it seemed to hit him worse than it hits a lot of athletes. So, I thought maybe just, he didn't have the best of luck last year, Newton. So, I mean, my thinking always was Newton's going to start the season, but he's not going to stay healthy. His body breaks down way too easily. So I thought Newton will be the week 1 guy for sure, and then at some point within a month and a half of week 1, he's going to break down and Mac Jones will get his chance to play, but La Canfora thinks it's going to be right away. Then he predicts Justin Fields, week 4 for the Bears, Trey Lance. Oh, I totally screwed that up. I said week 11. He wrote week 1. I don't know how I read that wrong. So he did say week 11 would be the first start for Trey Lance is what he said. Zach Wilson week 1 and Trevor Lawrence week 1 with the Jaguars. So That seems pretty reasonable. I'm not so sure about the Mac Jones one, but it does seem pretty reasonable. This is another good one from Joseph in the chat line. He says, I don't eat watermelon-flavored anything, but the fruit is delicious. I would actually tend to agree with that. Like, watermelon-flavored Jolly Ranchers are, like, way too tart. But I'll eat an actual watermelon. By the way, have you guys ever done this? Alex, have you ever done this? I mean, you were a college boy pretty recently. You ever do the thing where, like, you cut, like, a hole on the top of the watermelon and you turn a vodka bottle upside down, like, and over the course of a few hours, the vodka soaks into the watermelon. So you jam the vodka bottle into a watermelon, you let gravity do its work for a few hours, and then voila, you have alcoholic fruit. Like, we used to do that at some college parties, and it's fantastic. And, bro, I would get so smashed because between keg beer and, like, vodka-soaked watermelon and any other sort of shenanigans we had going on, oh, my God, I don't know how I could, like, walk at the end of the night. Did you ever do the vodka-soaked watermelon thing?
Yeah, we did stuff like that and, like, jungle juice. And,
jungle juice. That was a big one.
Yeah, and, funnels, keg stands.
Funnels!
Yeah, like, all types of shenanigans like that. But, like, it's just, I feel like with the whole watermelon thing and the vodka bottle, you have to go through a lot. And, like, relying on drunk people to handle, like, a glass bottle, flipping it over, and, like, with fruit and stuff.
No, you got to start that before the party starts.
Yeah, you got to start before.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, you have to start that before anybody's hammered.
Absolutely, because now it can get really messy quick with, like, handling all that stuff.
So true. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk some Dolphins, and we're going to talk some crypto with our good pal Juan Cardona from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. He's going to join us on the other side here on Onside Radio. Hey, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., Sean Stanley hosts the Squared Circle Digest. Wrestling fans have a place to call home as Sean covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can now watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Find out why Big O has a face for radio. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Check this out. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, we're just reaching out to Juan Cardona for the 5 Reasons Sports Network. He's going to talk a little Dolphins and a little crypto with us. He didn't pick up his phone the first time, so we're gonna try to track down Juan Cardona and have a little chat with him because there's a lot going on today. So I saw something, these comments that Kyrie Irving made. To me, it sounds like he's hinting towards retiring early. That maybe this could be the last of it for him. We'll get into that in a little bit because I think Alex has got Juan on the phone here, so we're gonna bring on Juan Cardona in a moment, talk a little bit about Tua bulking up and working on his footwork. Satan Mouse says, forget vodka watermelon, rum ham. That's the ticket, laddie. All right, we're going to go out to the guest line, bring in our really good pal, Juan Cardona. Does awesome work for the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I love his Dolphins breakdowns, and I love his crypto talk as well. Juan, good afternoon, sir. Are you surviving the dip? Are you hodling? Now, I know you are a strong, diamond-handed individual, so if there's one guy I guarantee you was not panicking and selling, it's Juan Cardona. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, what is up, my brother? We had an eventful day full of buys, bro. Let me tell you.
Yes, sale. It was on sale today.
Yeah, listen, it was a Black Friday deal, and if you had your money ready, you took advantage of that $200 flat screen, and the $200 PS4 bundle or PS5 bundle, whatever it is. You definitely got to take advantage today.
Now, do you have any idea? Because I listened to some crypto pods and I watched some videos here and there with so-called experts and stuff, and I know that some people did predict the dip that we got. In fact, some people think that the dip is not even really done and that it could get lower. So what do you think is in store? Do you think that because we've had obviously from the lows of earlier today, and I use Bitcoin as the reference point. Like I know there are a lot of different coins out there, but I use Bitcoin as the reference. It dipped under 30,000. It's now been in the high 30s for most of the day. Do you think we're in the process of bouncing back, or is this like a little bit of a temporary high? Because when people see it go down to 30, then a lot of the short-termers might say, "Oh, let me pump some money into this now." Then it goes up to 40. They cash out. How long do you think until we get a legitimate bounce back?
It's probably going to be till probably like sometime around fall. I would probably say maybe August is going to start turning around. Because here's the thing, like usually with Bitcoin cycles, the way it is a 4-year cycle where it's about 20 months of bull cycle, and then the other, I want to say 28 months are really bearish, right? That's usually always happens after the halvening. The halvening started May of last year of 2020. But what happens during those 20-month bull cycles is there's always, and I mean always, 2 to 3, 20 to 30% corrections in the market, right? And those are healthy because what it does is it allows the market to more so breathe and not so be on the hopium. Because, lately it's been, put your money in SafeMoon, put your money in Shibu, put your money in Doge, and you put $100 and you wake up and you have 1,000. And, that's unrealistic.
Yeah, right.
As great as it sounds, right?
Yeah.
But you see that a lot with these cycles where it's just, it needs its correction. And it kind of also feels more or less like Elon was tapped in the shoulder and said, hey, we need a little cheaper BTC. Can you make it happen? And he started obviously tweeting off a barrage of tweets.
Yeah, it could definitely be that. And I also thought that with Tesla getting so many government subsidies, and because we know that the government does not like decentralized financing and they don't like Bitcoin. So the government probably said, hey, Elon, if you want to keep getting these subsidies, you got to cool down the Bitcoin. And that's probably why they stopped accepting it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the biggest regret for the government, especially the U.S. government, is back up until 2-3 years ago, they had inventory of Bitcoin that they sold for less than 10 grand just because it was acquired through questionable means or whatnot, or have you. So they had it, in storage, and I'm sure they're regretting selling all of that now.
Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. We're joined here by Juan Cardona, who does an awesome job. You can follow him on Twitter at Exclusivity. Juan, I'm seeing some stuff with Tua that gets me a little excited. I'm watching footwork drills, and it's like porn watching this man's footwork now. He's getting more swole, because people forget a year ago at this time, Tua was in rehab for a hip injury. Like, he couldn't really focus on becoming a better quarterback. So have you been following Tua's offseason, and how much of an improvement do you think he can make in his second year?
I have been following his offseason closely, just opening up any application, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever may have you. Everybody seems to love to show pictures of Tua working out. I am happy. I'm excited that he's able to work out. Am I like over the moon like everybody else? No, man. Like, he's working out. Like everybody's working out. I've seen Lynn Bowden Jr. out there a couple of times. I saw Devontae out there a couple of times. So Jakeem was out there a couple of times. So what I'm most excited about is, he's getting the obviously the ability to work out, right? But it's also for me the chemistry with the guys at hand. Like we're obviously going to see maybe like, I don't want to say an instant connection with Waddle, but the connection is already built there, so it's not really starting it up fresh. And then if he can get comfortable with guys like Devontae, like Preston, like Lynn Bowden Jr., heck, even Albert Wilson, we have, I don't want to say top 15, top 10 offense, but the pieces are there. I could see it.
Yeah, I like that as well. What's your prediction for this season? We got an 18-game schedule this year. The Vegas over-under is 9 or 9.5 wins in some places.
Yeah.
What do you think the Dolphins are doing this year?
I kind of went over it a little bit on the extra yard with me and Kai and Michael. And I was the pessimist of the group because I went through the schedule like how I would if, like, okay, like the season's about to start. And I am a spades player, so I don't know if you play spades, but I'll try to break it down to you. Like,
no, I don't actually. So please break it down.
So when you start the game of spades, you usually have to tell somebody how many you think you can get for sure. I counted about 7 guarantee wins that they should win. I counted about 2 possibles, and then maybe 1 toss-up, right? Maybe. But if I'm being honest, I predicted, and as of now, I'm probably going to do a little more research on each individual team. I would say 9-8 is what I'm looking at right now.
Okay, I mean, listen. So by that logic, I think Vegas hit the nail on the head. Then I think they're going to win 10 games, but we're pretty close on our respective predictions. What's your expectation for Jalen Phillips this year? Are you jazzed up about that pick? He's getting some love actually. By the odds makers for defensive rookie of the year. So he's turning some heads.
So yes, I love Jalen Phillips, but I have to just have to say before even just going into Jalen Phillips, I absolutely adore all 3 of our first picks. I don't know who I'm more excited about. Like, I've seen like Javon Holland's little, clips on minicamp, and I'm like, wow, look at those hips, and like with Waddle and his speed, and but Phillips for sure is the guy who could come in and have an Aldon Smith type of year, just coming in as a situational pass rusher. And we saw, with Kyle Van Noy, he kind of fell into like 3 sacks. I'm pretty sure, Flores could scheme up something where Phillips could easily fall into 10 to 12 sacks. And that's exciting to have, man, because at that point you're scheming up pressure, but you're also letting the guy go and eat one-on-one, and we know he could do that.
Really good stuff here. Juan Cardona does excellent work on the 5 Reasons Sports Network on the Extra Yard. Anything you want to plug, man? Where can people find you, and where can people find your next shows?
Yeah, bro. We're doing now a show every other Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. We do it on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. That's me, Kai Chisholm, and we also have Michael there. We love Michael, but we like to bully him. Dude. So yeah. So if you guys like to see somebody get bullied, more than welcome to come join.
Oh man. Hey, by the way, do you have a prediction on Aaron Rodgers? You think he and the Packers work it out? Does he get traded? Does he retire? Does he become the full-time Jeopardy host? What do you think happens there?
I have to be honest. After being burned to the ground with Deshaun Watson, I have not been following the Aaron Rodgers thing as closely as maybe I should.
And you know why? I can understand that because the Deshaun Watson thing, the Dolphins were always right in the conversation. With Aaron Rodgers, they're not. So I think because I'm the same way. I'm not following Rodgers as closely as I was Watson before the lawsuits, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly, I don't know. To me, it feels like it's always going to be a situation where until a quarterback I'll say quarterback because players really can't do that. Only quarterbacks can do that. But until a quarterback just puts his foot down and says, no, I'm going to get my way no matter what, I think we're always going to see more or less the team win. So I would probably say he's coming back. Unless the Broncos just send the house and say, okay, like we'll give you whatever you want at this point. But is there a price for a 37-year-old? What did he have, his MVP last year or 2 years ago? I don't remember, but I don't know what price there is.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah.
Well, really good stuff as always. You want to follow Juan on Twitter at Exclusivity. And I hope everyone listening understands you got to hold on for dear life. You got to buy the freaking dip. Juan, thank you so much, man. And
hands, bro.
All the best to your family, man. I know you got a couple beautiful daughters you take great care of. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, bro. Same as you.
Juan Cardona does awesome work there for the 5 Reasons Sports Network. So, guys, we're going to have our Wednesday wisdom on the other side. If you're getting this transmission, you are enlightened, okay? You are part of the Illuminati. I'm going to give you guys another clue on the existence of intelligent life from other planets when we come back. We love to do that on Wednesday Wisdom. Before we get to that, I want to give you a hot tip for tonight. You're driving around thinking of grabbing some happy hour. You want to grab some dinner. My friends, if you are anywhere near Pompano Beach, and that's like a 100-mile radius, if you're like 100 miles north or south of Pompano Beach, although if you're 100 miles south of Pompano Beach, you're probably down in the Florida Keys somewhere, you got to head on over to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant. This is the spot. If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant. It's in Pompano Beach. The brats, the Wiener Schnitzel, which is my personal favorite German-Austrian dish, homemade potato pancakes. They really do those well over there. Pretzels with mustard and lots of German beer. You get all that and daily specials. There's something for everyone at Checkers Old Munchin. If you're up for a challenge, by the way, you can take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you get to take home your own boot, which I have one of those, and I have one of these as well, the Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in the new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So for the finest German food and beer, get on over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Write that address down or put it in your phone. 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. They're on social media as well. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. And when you're there, if you meet Matt, the owner, tell him Donno sent you. He's a good pal of mine. He loves InterMiami. He loves the Florida Panthers. He loves the Miami Hurricanes. He's a huge South Florida sports junkie. We will see you at Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
The man of the match with South Florida's own Alex Donno. Weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. on the home for InterMiami football. OnSideRadio.com.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo. Do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
She's kind of young, so I don't know. She may not be into Van Halen much. Let's see. Hey, Ruthie, good afternoon. Are you a Van Halen fan?
You know, I just had to Google Van Halen. I'm not going to lie to you. I just literally have it on my computer right now.
The Onside Zone with Big O. Weekdays 11 to 1 p.m. Only on OnsideRadio.com. Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
The Florida Panthers go down 2-0 in the series after a 3-1 loss last night. Lightning jumped out to a 2-goal lead early in the first period and never looked back. Next game is tomorrow night in Tampa Bay. Puck drops at 6:30. The Philadelphia Phillies use a 7-run 8th inning to beat the Miami Marlins 8-3. Back at it for Game 2 of the series tonight at 7:05, first pitch. Trevor Rogers will be on the mound for your Miami Marlins. Also in the MLB, Spencer Turnbull threw the 5th no-hitter of the 2021 MLB season. The NBA play-in round is underway for the Eastern Conference, and the Pacers routed the Hornets 144-117 in the 9-10 matchup. And in the 7-8 matchup, the Boston Celtics used a 50-point performance from Jason Tatum to beat the Wizards 118-100. Washington will now play the Pacers for the 8th seed in the East. Western Conference play-in starts tonight with the Spurs-Grizzlies in a 9-10 matchup. Tip-off is at 7:30. Memphis is a 4-point favorite, and at 10, it's the Lakers and the Warriors in the 7-8 matchup. Lakers are a 5-point favorite. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station. And coming up, it's more Man of the Match with Alex Donno, right here at OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk.
When you're tired of watching the sun damage your furniture or raise your electric bill, it's time to do what we did here at OnsideRadio.com studio. Call A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise. A Shade Above Window Fashions has a great selection of blackout shades to choose from. We can almost create a complete blackout for your bedroom or media room. Call them at 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashion.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
You know what that song reminds me of a little bit? The Haunted Mansion at Disney. You go on that, rather, this almost sounds like a remix version of the Haunted Mansion theme song. You know, when I was like 5 years old, I was such a wuss. I got scared on that ride. Because they used to have, like, I think they do still have it at the very end, where these, like, little ghost heads will, like, pop out of nowhere behind a tombstone. That used to startle me, man, when I was like 5, 6 years old. Like, oh my God, the aliens are gonna, or the ghosts are gonna pop out. I don't know when it's gonna happen. Now I'm a man. I eat my wings extra spicy. I got hair on my chest. I don't get scared of nonsense like that anymore. Not me. Wednesday Wisdom. when we can, we like to educate the masses who can no longer deny we are not alone in this universe. It should be obvious. I mean, the universe, as far as we know, could very well be infinite. So if the universe is infinite, somewhere on the other side of the universe, there's a guy who looks exactly like me, is dressed the exact same way I am, having the exact same conversation with people just like you right now, because infinite possibilities means infinite repetition. So it's happening all over this infinite universe of ours, okay? So you can't bury your head in the sand any longer. We are not alone in this universe. We're probably not alone in this galaxy. We are alone in this solar system, I believe. I don't think there's intelligent life anywhere, in our specific solar system, but we could be being observed. We might have been visited by this point. You've had in recent years documents that have been declassified. The Pentagon has admitted there are things we cannot explain, right? They're not all out admitting this is intelligent life from other planets. And we know far too much now about what was going on at Area 51. If you ever have a chance to watch videos or listen to interviews by a gentleman named Bob Lazar, who the government has tried to discredit, but he can pretty well confirm it, that he worked at Area 51 and he saw things that can only be explained as being from aliens, technologies that he was trying to study and reverse engineer, because he's a rocket scientist, and they brought him into Area 51 to try and replicate alien technology, and he couldn't because they use an element that is not found on this earth. This stuff is legitimate, man, and it's gotten to a point where the former leader of the free world, and I hope he didn't say too much, right? Because I hope the wrong people are not now after him for maybe revealing a secret potentially about our government. But Barack Obama, the 45th president of the United States of America? 44th. Whoops. The 44th president of the United States of America was on the Late Late Show with James Corden. Reggie Watt's a part of that as well. And I listen for yourself, because we have the audio, but I think it's safe to say that President Obama is admitting that, there's something else out there, and he knows more than he's letting on.
All this talk about dem aliens with the what are they, UAFs or whatever they call them, all the footage and everyone talking about it. It's like, what is your, I know that doesn't necessarily mean aliens, it is just a UAF, but I was wondering if you have a theory about that.
Well, when it comes to aliens, there's some things I just can't tell you on air.
Whoa!
But you'll tell us off air? Great.
No, look. The truth is that when I came into office, I asked, right? I was like, all right, is there the lab somewhere where we're keeping the alien specimens in spaceship? They did a little bit of research, and the answer was no.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
But what is true, and I'm actually being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory. They did not have an easily explainable pattern. And so, I think that people still take seriously trying to investigate and figure out what that is. But I have nothing to report to you today.
Okay.
Unless, that. See, here's the question. Reggie might secretly be an alien.
Right? You can shut it off there, because I see what he's doing. He's deflecting now, because he was asked a question. He realizes if I say too much, it wouldn't be good to say too much. Let me just say that. So, Obama, smart man, he realizes, let me now deflect and make some joke about Reggie being an alien. But he gave you a couple things there. He told you, I can't really tell you on the air. He also said that there have been objects and flight patterns that they cannot explain. So yeah, I would say the truth is out there. By the way, I think Satan Mouse was trying to send a link in the YouTube chat to the 60-minute story that they ran on Sunday about UAP, which are UFOs. I don't know if you tried to put the link in there, or if maybe you can't link something in the YouTube chat. I don't know. So if it's not going in the chat, the link, you can send it to my Twitter as well, and I can retweet it, or maybe try to send the link in here, because I don't know what the deal is. And by the way, thank you, Tony, 2 times. So I mentioned Bob Lazar, and you guys should look him up. You'll look up YouTube interviews, and he was on the Joe Rogan Experience several months ago. Bob Lazar, I said he worked for Area 51. Tony writes that he's correct. He worked at Area S4. It was close to Area 51. So yeah, it's like it's right in the same family there. Tony writes in, I like how they call them UAPs now, trying to rebrand them because UFO has too many nut bars attached to it. You're 1,000% right, by the way, Tony. You're 1,000% right, because if you're trying, and I think it's good that they start using a different term, because if you're trying to tell people actual, factual news stories about unidentified flying objects, if you call them UFOs, no one's going to take you seriously. You're going to think of those morons like in the middle of like Oklahoma who talk with those southern accents you can't understand, who are drunk all the time and thought that they got abducted and probed by aliens, and nobody takes them seriously. Like that's what you think of when you hear the term UFO. But when you talk about UAPs, now we're talking serious stuff. Rosendo Marco says they might be God's angels. Bro, I wouldn't rule that out. I wouldn't rule anything out, right? I mean, maybe they're doing a little recon. Angels, aliens, maybe a combination of both. I will not rule out anything that I do not understand, my friends. So there you have it. Barack Obama admitting that there's something out there. By the way, how boss was that he even said, yeah, when I got into office, I asked about it. If I'm elected president, when I'm elected president, because I'm running in 2024, just so you guys know. Going to try to get on the ballot through the Libertarian Party. If not, I'll just run independently. But I'm going to get into the White House at some point. When I get to the White House, I'm elected president. That is literally the first question I'm asking. Like, once I get briefed by whatever agency, CIA, I get briefed by the Bureau. The first question I am asking, once the guys in the suits show up to give me my security clearance, first thing I'm asking is, give me the real story about the aliens. What really happened? That's question number 1, okay? Tell me what we know about alien artifacts, where we store them. Do we have maybe living aliens in captivity right now that I can speak to? The second question I would ask is, what really happened to JFK? Anybody who thinks Lee Harvey Oswald was just acting alone, some rogue lone nut, you're kidding yourself. You're delusional. There's obviously something going on there. Was it the CIA? Was it the Russians? Was it the mob? Some kind of an inside job? That's the second question I would ask. I'll get down to the alien business first, and then I'm going to get down to the truth about JFK, because I have to know. I absolutely have to know. Satan Mouse says, what if the UAPs are actually from the future and they are just observing the past? I have also, you are a man after my own heart, I have often wondered that, because I think really a very likely scenario is, because again, I believe that there's life out there outside of this planet, but the question is, how far away is the other intelligent life? Because this universe is gigantic, if not infinite, right? So if like 50 galaxies away, there's intelligent life just like us, they may not actually be able to reach us, right? Unless they found a wormhole or they have some sort of interstellar technology we can't even comprehend. They may just be out there chilling the way we're over here chilling, okay? So I think it's far more likely that, a few thousand years from now, very same human race becomes so advanced, we're traveling through time, we start taking a look-see at our own past. Right? Maybe we start guiding ourselves in a certain direction. That's when you really start blowing your mind. Endless possibilities there. Tony 2 times writes in, the documentary The Phenomenon, which is on Prime, is an excellent documentary about UFOs. They have real documents and very credible witnesses, including Chris Melton. I have to watch that. I'm not sure if I definitely haven't watched that on Prime. I've seen a lot of stuff on YouTube, but I don't think I've watched that, so I have to watch that as well. By the way, Rafa in Miami writes in on the Kennedy assassination. He says it was a mob hit. Very well could have been. And that would make sense with why Jack Ruby then had to silence Oswald, because Ruby had notable mob ties as well. There's things the human mind cannot comprehend, Rosendo writes in. No question about that, man. Who knows how many dimensions there are? Who knows what's going on in the spiritual world? We have no idea. Our simple brains just cannot connect a lot of these dots. If you want to text us, 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. We're going to wrap up this hour. We'll wrap up this episode of Man of the Match when we come back. We'll do a little crosstalk, my friends, with our good buddy, Stephen D. from Miami Sports Music. Miami Sports Music for the Fans is coming up at 6 o'clock right here on the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnSideRadio.com.
The Man of the Match with South Florida's own Alex Donno. Weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. on the home for InterMiami football. OnSideRadio.com.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
Join the InterMiami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, it's been a really fun show. I mean, I don't know how many different episodes we've had where we've talked about everything from aliens to JFK conspiracies to Game 1 between the Heat and Bucks and Florida Panthers, down 0-2 in a series. We've covered everything today. We've covered crypto today as well. We're all over the road, man. And, I know our guy Steven Daniels is really going to hit it out of the park tonight with another episode of Miami Sports Music for the Fans. Always brings it strong, and Miami Sports Music does an excellent job connecting with the fans. Steve, when I was on your morning show yesterday, we were looking at that picture of Tua looking absolutely jacked, and this morning I was watching a video of Tua doing footwork drills, and I'm starting to get so excited for actual football. I mean, are you like me and you're just geeking out to so much of this preseason stuff, and then you realize, we're still like 4 months away from playing games?
Bro, don't even act like you weren't turned on by some of those videos that Tua has been put.
I referred to it. Yeah, I referred to it as porn.
Dude, it has been like just watching everything. It's getting me excited, and I have to tell you, whoever's running his social media is doing the right thing because they are making the fans like super geeked up, man. Seriously.
Yeah, no, it's really going to be awesome, man. Hey, what do you have planned on Miami Sports Music for the Fan tonight?
For tonight, I have a good friend from Orlando, Mr. John Rex, a.k.a. Rex. Rex is going to be coming on, and he's a really good guy. He runs the Orlando fan club, and it's going to be fun talking with him. We had a great episode yesterday with the NFL Fan of the Year, Big E. So if you guys missed the first couple of episodes, make sure you guys check that out. And the very last thing I want to say to you is E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home. I heard your last segment, man. So I was like, yeah. When I was a little kid, that's all I wanted to watch was E.T. phone home. And I thought for sure one day something was going to go into our back. Something was going to come down from space in our backyard. It never happened, though.
Same here, man. I'm still waiting. It may happen at some point. I love it. I always have fun with the alien talk. Hey, but before I let you run, and you're going to hit it 6 o'clock with the fantastic show from 6 to 7 o'clock tonight. So, I love how you talk to so many fans and fan clubs around the country and around the world. Like, what are some of, like, the cities that you think have, like, the strongest Dolphins support out of South Florida? Like, some of the places where you're like, wow, the Dolphins support from that town is incredible.
Well, I have to say Orlando because Rex is listening, so I'll definitely say Orlando to start out with. The other thing I think I'll say is I'll be honest with you. So there's 4 fan clubs outside of the U.S. There's one in France.
Ooh.
There's one in Germany. There's one in the U.K. called Fins Nation UK, and there's one in Mexico. And I know all the people that run those fan clubs. And I absolutely cannot believe that the Miami Dolphins not only have fans, but such a strong, avid group of fans that are outside of the U.S. And it just amazes me how good they – I mean, there's podcasts dedicated to the Dolphins in German and French. And it's unreal that the Dolphins are that worldwide.
Wow, that is incredible. And so everyone, make sure you tune in. Big show coming up. Stephen D, Miami Sports Music for the Fans. Steve, have an awesome show, my friend.
You too, man. Love you, brother. We'll see you tomorrow.
Dude, I got to check out some of these Dolphins podcasts in German and French. That would trip me out so much. So Stephen is coming up. Huge thanks to Alex Aguirre. Huge thanks, of course, to Clay Ferrero for joining us, and Juan Cardona and Dave DeWork. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow, 3 to 6, and we also have Fight Night tomorrow, 7 to 9 o'clock, right here on the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnSideRadio.com.
When you want local sports, 12